Chapter 597. It was just that Xiao Xiao distanced herself from him for some unknown reason. Fortunately, Xiao Chen now knew that she was still concerned about him. Thinking about it carefully, perhaps when a girl grew up, she would be more reserved and would not be so attached to her brother. Later, when he grew up, every New Year's Day, Xiao Chen would hide in his villa to train nonstop. It seemed that every New Year's Day was no different from usual. It had been a long time since he had a proper New Year's Day. Thinking about it, Xiao Chen felt a little regretful. He had missed too many opportunities to reunite with his family. Unknowingly, he walked to the front of Lin's stall. Indeed, Lin's family had also begun to sell New Year's goods. There were some homemade frozen dumplings, sticky bean buns, etc. However, the noodle business was still open. A bowl of noodle. Xiao Chen looked at Lin's busy figure and heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that she was fine. Very soon the noodle was served. When Lin was serving it, she looked at Xiao Chong with some doubt. This person's back was somewhat familiar, but she did not know him from his appearance. Just as she was feeling puzzled, someone called her for noodles again. She turned around and continued to busy herself without thinking much about it. After finishing the noodles, Xiao Chen put down the money and said something to Lin Kuo before turning around to leave. However, Lin Kuo was slightly startled when she saw the money on the table and said, "Sir, there's $1 missing." Xiao Chen was also slightly stunned. He remembered the price of the noodle and gave the exact amount. How could it be missing 1 yuan? He could not help but turn his head to look. "Oh right. The price of our noodle increased half a month ago, because the price of some ingredients increased." Lin explained. "Is that so? It's okay." Xiao Chen took out the money from his pocket again. However, he did not have any change. It was all 100 yuan. After Lin saw it, she waved her hand and said, "If you don't have it, then forget it. I won't accept it this time." "All right, I'll give it to you next time." Xiao Chen smiled and was about to turn around to leave when he was stopped by Lin. "Wait," Lin suddenly said. Xiao Chen turned around and looked at Lin in confusion, not knowing what she was going to do. "It's nothing. I think you look like a friend of mine, but you're not." Lin shook her head and looked a little sad. She hadn't heard from Xiao Chen for a long time. Previously, Lu Shuangshuang said that Xiao Chen seemed to have provoked a big shot and was being hunted down. After that, there was no news of him. Lu Shuangshuang didn't know how he was doing now. "Hehe. I think your friend must be doing well now. It's almost the new year. You can contact him and greet him." Xiao Chen smiled. Lin responded, but she was shaking her head in her heart. "How am I going to contact him? What if I cause trouble for him? What if he gets into trouble because of me? That would be terrible." She didn't know why Lin was always a little afraid of Xiao Chen, but she was also very worried about Xiao Chen. It was a contradictory mentality. Xiao Chen didn't say anything more. He left quickly and drove to the Warrior Guild. The entrance of the Warrior Guild and the Warrior Market were decorated with lanterns and colored banners. It was the atmosphere of the new year. In the past, during the new year, Xiao Chen had never been here. This was the first time. He directly strode into the Warrior Market. Xiao Chen planned to walk around casually. Since he saw Lin, he would look at Lu Shuangshuang. Compared to Lin, Lu Shuangshuang was already Xiao Chen's woman. Xiao Chen had to be responsible for her. This had already become one of Xiao Chen's responsibilities. As soon as he walked into the Warrior Market, Xiao Chen frowned. He saw Lu Shuangshuang being cornered by 2 men. Her face was pale, and she didn't know what to do. Fortunately, the 2 of them didn't do anything to her. They were just talking about something. As Xiao Chen walked over, he heard one of the long-haired men say to Lu Shuangshuang, "Little girl, you have to understand the reality. A new leader brings his own subordinates. Your backer has left. The new shopkeeper obviously doesn't want to care about your business. Otherwise, why hasn't he said anything? I'm selling things in the Warrior Market. What does that have to do with the Warrior Guild?" Lu Shuangshuang was obviously angry. "Why do you have to care about me selling things here? This was what Shopkeeper Tai promised me. Shopkeeper Tai has already left." Don't think that I don't know that you are Shopkeeper Tai's lover. Anyway, it doesn't matter who you follow. Our Vice President Xiao wants to take care of you because he thinks highly of you. Don't be unappreciative. He will give you 80,000 a month. Isn't that better than selling your broken binoculars here? A short-haired man at the side sneered. That's right. Don't be unappreciative. It's your fortune that Vice President Xiao likes you. You're just a second-hand good. What's the point of pretending to be so pure? The long-haired man sneered. I have a boyfriend. I already said that you can leave. I won't agree to it. Lu Shuangshuang said sternly. Can you stop harassing me again and again? I can't do my business anymore. I have signed a contract with the warrior market. Hee. I don't care about your contract. Unless you quit your job and want to earn money here peacefully, quickly agree to it. Otherwise, we will come every day. The long-haired man smiled and threatened. Oh, is that so? Then you definitely won't be able to come tomorrow. Just as the long-haired man finished speaking, a cold voice suddenly came from behind him. The long-haired man turned around and felt that his hair was grabbed by someone. The person who grabbed him was naturally Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen was already furious. What the hell is going on? Where did this Vice President Xiao come from? Moreover, it sounded like the shopkeeper of Songning Warrior Market had changed. Wasn't it Taimu? Could it be that there was a problem on Hongzhu's side? Otherwise, why would the shopkeeper of the Warrior Market be changed? But in any case, Xiao Chen was already angry. He couldn't care so much. Anyway, he was Yang Tan now. If something happened, it would be this idiot identity who would take the blame. It had nothing to do with him. Whoosh, the long-haired man was directly lifted by Xiao Chen. In the sky, he was like the propeller of a helicopter, constantly spinning in the air. What are you doing? Put me down. The long-haired man's scalp was a little numb. Seeing that his hair was about to be separated, his tears almost fell. He couldn't help but shout. Who are you? How dare you touch me? Don't you know that I am Vice President Xiao's subordinate? Who are you? The short-haired man also looked at the person who suddenly made a move in shock. He was somewhat puzzled. Logically speaking, although there were many warriors in the warrior market, no one would casually stand up for others. He and Longhair had been forcing Lu Shuangshuang here for a long time, but no one dared to stand up for a just cause. What was going on today? Xiao Chen ignored him and continued to rotate the long-haired man called Longhair. At this moment a voice sounded. How dare you? Who dares to cause trouble in the territory of the warrior guild and the warrior market? Do you want to publicly become enemies with our two major forces? Seeing the owner of the voice appear, Xiao Chen smiled slightly. Sure enough, the person in question had appeared. Xiao Chen naturally didn't care about these small fries. He was looking for the person behind the scenes. However, with one look, Xiao Chen was a little surprised. Wasn't this Xiao En's? Wasn't this guy a deacon of the Warrior Guild's Law Enforcement Hall? How did he become the vice president of the Warrior Guild? So Vice President Xiao was referring to him. It seemed that this kid's family was quite capable. Xiao Chen directly swung his hand, and the long hair flew out, smashing directly in Xiao En's direction. Xiao En's was shocked, and he could not dodge in time, and was hit head-on. Xiao En's was only a warrior at the peak of Stage 8 Inner Force. How could he be compared to Xiao Chen, a cultivator, who was about to reach Stage 10 Qi Refinement Stage? Bang! Xiao En's head was smashed and he directly fell to the ground. He was dizzy and saw stars. He was so angry that he shouted, Who are you? How dare you make a move here? Humph! Xiao Chen coldly snorted and took 2 steps forward. He pointed at Lu Shuangshuang and said, I like this girl. If you dare to touch her, I will kill you. Lu Shuangshuang was suddenly stunned. She wanted to thank Xiao Chen for saving her, but she didn't expect that she would enter the tiger's den after escaping from the wolf's mouth. This person saved her not because he was loyal to her, but because he liked her. This made Lu Shuangshuang a little depressed. What was wrong with her recently? She had been selling binoculars for a long time, and no one had harassed her. Now that they were here together. I am the vice president of Songning Martial Guild Qiao En's. Let me tell you, you not only offended me, but also my Qiao family. You are dead. Qiao En shouted angrily. Oh, alright Qiao En, stop pretending. I know you, but I am not afraid of you. Have you forgotten who I am? Xiao Chen smiled coldly. You know me? Then who are you? Xiao Ins was stunned and became a little cautious. This person obviously had the strength of a martial master. If it wasn't for this fear, he wouldn't just say some arrogant words. He would have already taken action. This is my ID. Take a look at it yourself. As Xiao Chen said this, he handed the ID to Xiao Ens. When Xiao En saw the cover of the ID, he knew something was wrong. He used to be in the law enforcement hall and had more contact with the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Therefore, he could tell at a glance that the cover of the ID was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. However, he didn't know this person. Could he be a big shot from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? After taking the ID, Xiao Ens opened it and took a look. He was stunned on the spot. Yang Jianan? Xiao Chang? Looking at the two photos, Xiao Ens finally understood why the other party knew him. It turned out to be Yang Jianan. He was really an acquaintance. But how did it become Xiao Chang? Chapter 598. Could it be their internal mission identity? But even if it was Yang Jianan, he didn't have to be so arrogant, right? I used to please him a lot. What does he mean now? Does he really think I'm afraid of him? The Qiao family I belong to is... When Xiao En saw the position on Yang Jianan's ID, he was speechless. Deputy leader of Team B. When did Yang Jianan get promoted? He actually became the deputy leader of Team B? One had to know that Team B was directly responsible for some sex and martial arts families. They could directly talk to the presidents of the Warrior Guild headquarters. They were all at the same level. He was only the vice president of a small Songning branch. He was really not enough. Even if his father didn't bow and scrape to Yang Jianan now, he would still have to smile from ear to ear. Ah, it's Deputy Leader Yang. Xiao En's face changed, but he smiled. He also knew the rules of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The current ranking system was very strict. If he called Yang Jianan Leader Yang and omitted the word deputy, it would make Yang Jianan even angrier. So, he was smart and immediately said, "Since you like this girl, then she is yours. Haha. And give me a room alone." Xiao Chen nodded and said coldly, Yes, Deputy Leader Yang, this way please." Xiao En said with a smile. "En." Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang and said, "Let's go." Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. "I'm not leaving." Lu Shuangshuang also understood. This man called Deputy Leader Yang in front of her seemed to be more powerful. Even Xiao Ins was afraid of him. She felt a little sad in her heart. She couldn't afford to offend the previous one. And now she met someone she couldn't afford to offend. Why was she so unlucky? "It's not up to you to leave." Xiao Chen was more aggressive than Xiao Ens. He directly went up, hugged Lu Shuangshuang, and dragged her forward. Hey, what are you doing? Let me go. You still dare to kidnap a girl?" Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. Previously, although Xiao Ens had taken a fancy to Lu Shuangshuang, he was, after all, a reputable figure. He also had to consider the consequences. If he acted like a tyrant in his own territory and was reported to the headquarters, then even if he had connections, he would not be able to bear the consequences. Therefore, he didn't do anything to Lu Shuangshuang. He just found people to cause trouble and force her. However, Xiao Chen was different. First, he knew that he was Lu Shuangshuang's man. Second, he was Yang Jianan's man. He didn't mind being a little arrogant to smear his name. But in reality, Yang Jianan was in the limelight now, and no one would talk about it. Xiao En smacked his lips. This Yang Jianan seemed to be in high spirits now. He had become so overbearing after being appointed as the deputy team leader of Team B. However, this also represented a fact. He had heard that the team leader of Team B was about to retire, and Yang Jianan was probably going to take over. If not, he would not be so arrogant. He would have carefully fought for the succession, and not this kind of certainty. He sighed somewhat gloomily. Chen Huanling was now the veteran vice president of the Songning Martial Arts Guild. However, ever since he had arrived, he had wanted to fight for power with him. The two of them had been fighting openly and covertly for half a month. Although Chen Huanling had a son, Yang Jianan, who was the leader of Team C, Xiao En's Qiao family also had the final say in the Warrior Guild headquarters. The two of them were at most evenly matched, and Xiao En's might even be slightly stronger. But now, Yang Jiannan was still a little weak as the deputy leader. When he became the leader of Team B, then Xiaoen's really had no way to deal with Chen Huanling. They were not at the same level at all. Deputy Leader Yang, this way please. Xiaoen's quickly adjusted his mentality and said to Xiao Chun, do you want to go to your father's lounge or? Oh, then let's go to my father's lounge. Xiao Chun nodded. Chen Huanling was the deputy leader. His lounge definitely didn't have any surveillance equipment installed, because it was impossible for him to monitor himself. As for the other lounges, he couldn't guarantee. If this Xiaoen's mess with him, it wouldn't be fun. Okay, over here, Xiaoen said. At this time, Lu Shuangshuang finally knew who the person in front of her was. Wasn't this the son of the deputy leader, who was rumored to be killed by Xiao Chen? Wasn't he dead? Why did he appear again? Lu Shuangshuang's news had always been lagging behind. Tai Muching was transferred away, and she lost her backer. Every day, she sold things in the warrior's market. Although she could hear some news, it was limited. But Yang Jiannan was alive, then what about Xiao Chen? Lu Shuangshuang was dragged forward by Xiao Chen. She did not have the strength to struggle free at all. As for the warriors nearby, it was as if they did not see them at all. No one asked a single word. These warriors weren't stupid. Xiao En's was the deputy leader. Even Xiao En's respected him. How would they dare to offend him? They still had to rely on the warrior guild and the warrior's market. Lu Shuangshuang felt a little sad, but she thought that the person in front of her was Xiao Chen's enemy. Since she couldn't resist, she would find a way to kill him later. At most, she would run away and never come here to sell binoculars again. Of course, her idea was good, but she still underestimated the abilities of warriors and martial masters. They arrived at the door of Chen Huanling's lounge in the warrior guild, and saw Chen Huanling walking toward them. When he saw these people standing in front of his lounge, he couldn't help but be stunned. Xiaoen's, what is the meaning of this? Why are you blocking my lounge door with your men? Don't go too far. Chen Huanling had been very sullen recently. He had been hit by Xiaoen's one after another. That. Xiaoen's didn't know how to explain. Who are you people? This is the resting place of the Warrior Guild's upper management. It's also private territory. Outsiders are not allowed to enter. Chen Huanling turned to Xiao Chen when he saw that Xiaoen's didn't say anything. Oh, you don't even recognize me? Xiao Chen imitated Yang Tan's tone and said. Huh. Chen Huanling was slightly stunned. Congratulations, Deputy Leader Chen. Brother Jiannan is now the Deputy Leader of Team B of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I brought him here to rest. Xiaoen's quickly explained after he recovered from his shock. Huh. Chen Huanling looked at Xiao Chen in surprise. You're Yang Tan. Yes. Xiao Chen nodded. He took out his ID and handed it to Chen Huanling. Chen Huanling glanced at it and immediately beamed with joy. It turned out that his son had disguised himself as another identity. There was even a photo on the ID. He immediately felt relieved. Yang Tan, then you should rest well. I heard that you completed a mission and won a great victory. I won't disturb you anymore. Xiao Chen took the ID and nodded. He dragged the bitter Lu Shuangshuang into the room and closed the door with a bang. Chen Huanling was very happy. Even though Yang Tan was still indifferent to him, he was still a member of the Chen family. Xiao En's attitude had obviously changed a lot, and it must be because of Yang Tan's face. It seemed that this guy wouldn't go against him anymore. As expected, Xiao En's expression changed. He put on a fawning look. Uncle Chen, I just came here and wanted to start a career. I might have offended you, but I've thought it through. I still need to learn from the elders. I hope Uncle Chen can guide me in the future. Of course, of course. Chen Huanling nodded with a smile. This Xiao En's didn't even call him Vice President Chen. He directly referred to himself as a junior. It seemed that he had a good eye. After entering the room, Lu Shuangshuang looked at Xiao Chen with her arms crossed. Hey, what do you want? What do you think? I want to F***ck you, of course. Xiao Chen smiled. You shameless. Lu Shuangshuang glared at Xiao Chen. Weren't you killed by that Xiao Chen? Why are you here again? You're not an imposter, are you? Lu Shuangshuang's real purpose of asking was to find out about Xiao Chen. It was just that she couldn't ask directly, so she used a probing tone. It seemed that she was asking about Yang Tan, but she was actually asking about Xiao Chen. Huh? Xiao Chen pretended to be surprised. You found out? You can actually tell that I'm an imposter? Then should I kill you to silence you? Ah! Lu Shuangshuang really wanted to cry at this moment. She casually said something to find out about Xiao Chen's whereabouts. And it turned out that she was right. This person was really an imposter? Then he wanted to kill her? However, it's fine if you don't kill me. Xiao Chen changed the topic and said calmly. Then what should I do? Lu Shuangshuang asked subconsciously. If I don't kill you, then you'll become my woman. Since you're one of us, you can't leak the secret, Xiao Chen said. This? How could Lu Shuangshuang agree? She rolled her eyes and suddenly said, Oh right, how about this? I'll tell you the truth. I already have a boyfriend. He's a broken flower. A big shot like you can't fall for him, right? If you let me stay by your side for a long time, you'll definitely feel embarrassed. Plus, I know your secret. What if I secretly hide it somewhere, and you don't dare to kill me? How troublesome would that be for you? And then? Xiao Chen listened to Lu Shuangshuang's words and was speechless. This girl's thinking, isn't she afraid that I'll kill her now? Then you see, I'll sell things in the Warrior Guild and the Warriors Market. Now the telescopes, melon seeds, mineral water, and drinks in these two places are all under my exclusive management. When the time comes, I'll give you half of the profits and you'll protect me. How about that? Lu Shuangshuang suggested. This is more beneficial than you getting a broken flower, right? It seems to make sense. Xiao Chen nodded after listening. Lu Shuangshuang's suggestion was not bad. Although her business didn't seem to make much money, it was her exclusive management. It was also a considerable profit. Right? Isn't it very reasonable? Then that's it. I'll leave first. Lu Shuangshuang was about to slip away. Chapter 599. Stop right there. Xiao Chen pulled her back and said, However, I still feel that I can't let you go. Moreover, I don't care about a broken woman. Really? Ah. Lu Shuangshuang saw that her words were useless. She was a little frustrated. I'll tell you the truth. Actually, I have AIDS. F***ck really? Asked Xiao Chen. Of course it's true. Lu Shuangshuang said pitifully. That's right. My boyfriend isn't very decent. He has a few women outside. He accidentally infected me. My life is so hard. I have to sell binoculars every day just to raise enough money for medical expenses. I see. That's such a coincidence. I should also have AIDS. That's just right. Xiao Chen thought about it and said. Ah. Lu Shuangshuang was stunned. She subconsciously took 2 steps back. She looked at Xiao Chen in horror and said, Really? Of course it's true. Xiao Chen nodded with some depression and said, Yeah, I pretended to be someone else's boyfriend. In the end, I accidentally made it real. In the end, my girlfriend seems to have AIDS. She accidentally infected me. I have such a hard life. I pretend to be Yang Jiannan every day to earn some money to pay for medical expenses. Ah! Lu Shuangshuang looked at Xiao Chen with some surprise. She felt a little strange. She looked at Xiao Chen from head to toe, and then looked at Xiao Chen's face. You. Yeah, Shuangshuang, you really made me die. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you have AIDS? Xiao Chen said depressed. Puffed. Lu Shuangshuang's originally tense nerves suddenly relaxed. She rushed up and hugged Xiao Chen. Aya, why are you so annoying? You scared me. I thought you were really Yang Jiannan. I don't have AIDS. It was my first time with you. There are many ways to transmit this. Injuries, selling blood and so on, said Xiao Chen. I made it up to lie. Lu Shuangshuang said. Xiao Chen, are you okay? How did it become Yang Jiannan? It's fine for now. I'll pretend to be him. I have an identity, Xiao Chen said. Actually, I don't know how long I can use this identity. I was on a mission before and now I'm on vacation. So I came back to take a look. Are you here to see me? Lu Shuangshuang was a little happy. That's great. Just when I was being bullied, you fell from the sky like a Prince Charming. You seem to think that I was an even worse bully just now. Xiao Chen shrugged. Hey, don't mention it. That was just now. Lu Shuangshuang laughed dryly. Oh right, why did Tai Muching leave? Xiao Chen was a little curious about the change of authority in Songning City's Warriors Market. Hong Zhu had left, but why did Tai Muching leave as well? Would Lu Shuangshuang suddenly lose her backing? But didn't Hong Zhu have a lot of authority? Wasn't she the leader of the Hongying team? Why didn't you greet the new shopkeeper? Could it be that the new shopkeeper wasn't one of her people? I don't know either. Sigh. I'm just a small traveling merchant at the bottom of the hierarchy. How would I know these things? Lu Shuangshuang shook her head. In short, although the new shopkeeper didn't interfere with my business, he didn't care about my affairs either. Xiaochen nodded. Perhaps Hong Zhu had forgotten to greet him. It wasn't impossible. What's the new shopkeeper's name? His name is Hong Lai. I heard that he has some background, Lu Shuangshuang said. Hong Lai, also surnamed Hong. Xiaochen nodded. This made sense. The new shopkeeper was likely to be a member of the Hong family. It was reasonable that he didn't give Hong Zhu too much face. After thinking for a while, Xiaochen said, Shuangshuang, my current identity is Yang Jiannan. You won't be in any trouble for the time being. I believe that Hong Lai won't refuse to give me face. But if my identity is exposed, you'd better leave this place quickly. You should have earned a lot of money recently, right? If it's not enough, I still have a lot here. You can start another business. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. I've thought about it too. I've indeed earned quite a lot during this period. I've saved up 1,000,000 yuan. But I don't know what business to do. I'm also waiting and seeing. Then you should take a good look. If you need any connections, I'll help you call them. Xiaochen thought for a while and said, if it doesn't work, I'll go to Lan City. I'm more familiar with that place. I have a lot of people there. Xiaochen thought that since Lu Shuangshuang didn't know how to manage other businesses, it was a good idea to let her sell things at Tianqing Monastery. At that time, Lu Li and Taishan would take care of her. It was much more reliable than here. Those two fellows were both in Little Demon's disciples and grand disciples, so they didn't dare to cause any trouble. Okay. Lu Shuangshuang nodded readily. Is your grandmother's illness better? Xiaochen asked. Much better. She's almost fine. Thank you for your help. Lu Shuangshuang was a little happy when she mentioned her grandmother. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to save so much money. I don't have to pay so much for medical expenses. I just need to buy some nutrition products. That's good. Xiaochen nodded. His gaze drifted to Lu Shuangshuang. He was a little tempted. Since there's still time, let's... What? Lu Shuangshuang's face turned red. She somewhat understood what Xiaochen meant, but she still pretended not to know. It's what I want to do by snatching you over, said Xiaochen. This. Lu Shuangshuang was a little nervous. That. I said it before. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because we did that. Oh, it's okay. Although Xiaochen was a little disappointed, he still respected Lu Shuangshuang's opinion. I haven't finished yet. Lu Shuangshuang listened to Xiaochen's words and was a little anxious. I also want to, hee. Xiaochen laughed. What are you laughing at? Don't think that I can do whatever I want in the future. You have to pursue me and be good to me. Lu Shuangshuang was a little incoherent, but she was already in Xiaochen's arms. After making love, Xiaochen walked out of the lounge with Lu Shuangshuang, whose face was a little flushed. He was surprised to find that not far away, there were 3 people waiting for him. He knew 2 of them. They were Qiao En's and Chen Huanling. There was also a young man about the same age as Qiao En standing there, talking and laughing. When he saw Xiaochen coming out, he immediately greeted him. Deputy Team Leader Yang, it's an honor to meet you. The young man that he didn't know walked over with a smile on his face. He stretched out his hand and said with a smile, I'm Hong Lai, the trusted shopkeeper of the Songning Warrior Market of the Hong Chamber of Commerce. Oh, so it's Shopkeeper Hong. Nice to meet you. Xiaochen shook hands with him and nodded. I've prepared a banquet to celebrate Deputy Team Leader Yang's promotion, Hong Lai said with a smile. I wonder if Deputy Team Leader Yang will do me the honor? Let's go then. Xiaochen happened to be hungry, so he could take care of Lu Shuangshuang. This is Lu Shuangshuang. She's my girlfriend now. Ahaha, it's Miss Lu. I know. You've always been working with our warrior market. I've just been appointed and have been busy with work, so I didn't have the time to discuss the cooperation with Miss Lu. But it's all good now. We're all on the same side. If there's anything in the future, just call me directly. Hong Lai laughed and didn't feel embarrassed at all. Xiao Chen nodded secretly. Hong Lai was a very slick person. It seemed that he wasn't easy to deal with. The departure of Hong Zhu and Tai Muching was a little thought-provoking. Shopkeeper Hong is from the Hong family? And yes, Hong Lai didn't hide it. My ancestor was also the founder of the Hong Chamber of Commerce in the secular world, President Hong Zhong. However, I'm not from the main branch now. I'm considered a branch. Haha, it's good that you're capable. Xiao Chen nodded. This Hong Lai seemed unwilling to be a shopkeeper. From his words, he could tell that they were the same ancestor, but he was reduced to a branch. He definitely wouldn't feel comfortable in his heart. After all, everyone was from the Hong family. No one was lacking anything. We're all working for the Hong family. Hong Lai smiled. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this topic anymore. Oh right, Deputy Team Leader Yang, why are you here? In his opinion, Yang Jianan obviously didn't come here for Lu Shuangshuang. He heard what happened just now. This Yang Jianan's action was completely random. He only took a fancy to Lu Shuangshuang's beauty. Then, he must have another purpose for coming here. Oh, it's nothing much. I'm on vacation, so I came over to visit my father when I had nothing to do. I also wanted to investigate the matter of my enemy, Xiao Chen, who injured me back then, Xiao Chen said casually. Lu Shuangshuang was stunned. Xiao Chen wanted to investigate Xiao Chen? What was going on? I see. Then let's eat first. Hong Lai was no longer anxious when he heard that there was nothing going on. The reason why he was trying so hard to build a relationship with Xiao Chen was because of Xiao Chen's identity as the deputy team leader of Team B. Hong Lai's life in the Hong family wasn't that smooth. To put it nicely, his position as the shopkeeper was to gain experience. To put it bluntly, he was kicked out of the line of succession. As for Lu Shuangshuang, Tai Muching and Hong Zhu didn't give him any special instructions, so he didn't care too much. However, he didn't stop this collaboration either. He was a cautious person and didn't want to offend anyone. In fact, it wasn't that Tai Muching and Hong Zhu didn't give him any special instructions, but the two of them had left in too much of a hurry. Something big had happened in the Hong family, and they had to rush over as soon as possible. The few of them walked into the dining room. Xiao Chen was really hungry, and Lu Shuangshuang was unbearably tired. She didn't understand why Xiao Chen didn't look for other girlfriends recently. Otherwise, how could he be so troublesome? And she guessed it right. Xiao Chen had been in Lan City all this time, so who could he be troublesome with? Moreover, Song Huawu seduced him every day, making him very helpless. Hence Lu Shuangshuang suffered. Chapter 600. During the banquet, Hong Lai was extremely fawning over Xiao Chen. From his words, it seemed that he wanted to get Yang Jiannan's support. However, Xiao Chen was just feigning civility. If he was on good terms with Hong Zhu, how could he be on good terms with Hong Lai? Moreover, Hong Lai was obviously very ambitious. As for Chen Huanling, Xiao Chen could also see that he was both afraid and happy about Yang Jiannan's identity. He probably wanted to borrow his strength, but it was obvious that the relationship between father and son was not very good. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Xiao Chen waved his hand and said, "Bring me all the information you have on Xiao Chen. I want to take a good look. This brat almost killed me before. I need to understand him. Only by knowing yourself and your enemy can you win every battle. What if this brat attacks me again?" You're right. Chen Huanling naturally hated Xiao Chen. He also didn't want Xiao Chen to launch a sneak attack on Yang Jiannan. If Yang Jiannan was finished, the Chen family would also be finished. Hong Lai and Qiao Ens were also very fawning over Xiao Chen, so they naturally wouldn't stop him. Especially since Qiao Ens also hated Xiao Chen to the core. Therefore, with these few big shots joining hands to make the final decision, those top secret information that could only be accessed by outsiders after an application from the higher-ups were all brought out. Xiao Chen sat in the conference room, looking at the mountain of files. He felt a headache coming on, but he couldn't tell the others that he was actually looking for information on his father, Xiao Feng. He could only hint to Lu Shuangshuang and ask her to help him look through the files. If she saw any information on Xiao Feng, She should immediately give it to him. After sending the others away, Xiao Chun went back to the conference room and looked through the files. So your parents also disappeared. I thought I was the only pitiful person living with my grandmother. Lu Shuangshuang sighed while looking. Well, it's not really pitiful. I'm still luckier than you, because the Xiao family treated me very well. Even now they still miss me, Xiao Chun said. By the way, what about your parents? My parents divorced when I was very young. My father was a gambling addict and lived in the countryside. My grandmother didn't recognize him anymore. My mother saw him like this and ran away with someone else, leaving my brother and me at my grandmother's place. Lu Shuangshuang sighed. You have a brother? Xiao Chun was slightly surprised. Yes, my brother is in middle school. He lives on campus and rarely goes home. Lu Shuangshuang said. But I'm doing quite well now. I met you, but don't despise me. Although I'm not from a good family, I'm not bad looking. You can't throw me away after a few times. How could that be? Didn't we agree? Xiao Chun realized that Lu Shuangshuang was a girl who lacked a sense of security. Perhaps it had something to do with her being abandoned by her parents when she was young. Parents were the people a child trusted the most. If they abandoned the child, who would the child trust in the future? Lu Shuangshuang was afraid that Xiao Chun wouldn't want her. She wasn't worried for nothing. All right, but I have to keep you fresh. I can't just agree when you want me, Lu Shuangshuang said. Hee. Xiao Chun laughed. There were a lot of dossiers, and many of them were related to the Xiao clan. For every big clan, the Martial Artists Guild and the Martial Artists City Square had dossiers, and there were quite a few of them. Xiao Chun, in the files, you're described as a super useless person. Your fiancé doesn't like you. You didn't get any response when you tried to pursue the goddess. You were bullied by your followers. You can't even cultivate. Why are you so useless? Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. Xiao Chen's face darkened. What do you think? I think it's fake that you can't cultivate, because you're hiding your strength. But your fiancé doesn't like you, right? You didn't even get the goddess, right? Lu Shuangshuang laughed sarcastically. Who said that? Didn't you see Qing Minjing the other day? She's very close to me, Xiao Chun said. And Shen Jingxian. Didn't she say her boyfriend is White Fox? Then these people from the Warrior Guild are all blind, Lu Shuangshuang said. After reading for a while, Lu Shuangshuang suddenly widened her eyes and exclaimed, Xiao Chun, you made a comeback? This is White Fox's file. How did you suddenly make a comeback after being chased out of the family? I feel so good. It's like I'm reading a novel. Xiao Chun was a little speechless. Lu Shuangshuang was so flustered. If he had known this would happen, he would not have let her read it. Moreover, the pile of dossiers she was reading seemed to be about him. She had basically given up all his privacy to her. I can't take it anymore. I suddenly find myself admiring you. Hey, Xiao Chun, I want to do it with you again. Lu Shuangshuang put down the file and leaned towards Xiao Chun. Stop fooling around. This is the conference room. Xiao Chun suppressed the impulse in his heart and continued to read the file in his hand. This was because this file contained some of the trial missions that his father had accepted. He didn't have the mood to do those things now. Oh, in the movies, there are not often bosses and secretaries in the conference room. Although Lu Shuangshuang was a little disappointed, she was very happy. It seems that you're not an animal that thinks with the lower half of your body. Not bad. Xiao Chun continued to read the file in his hand, and Lu Shuangshuang continued to read too. Looking at the missions that his father and second uncle had done, Xiao Chun was suddenly filled with emotions. Many of the missions, other than earning money, were to find some treasures that could help ordinary people embark on the path of martial arts cultivation faster. Every time such a mission appeared, they would sign up for it immediately. Later, his father and second uncle had family business. Both of them couldn't leave, so his father went on the trial missions alone. Looking at the densely packed missions, Xiao Chun felt that his father's love was as heavy as a mountain. In the Xiao family, he wasn't the only one who suffered from not being able to cultivate inner strength. He wasn't the only one who trained every day. His father was the same. He was always thinking about ways to cultivate inner strength. As the saying goes, if you stand by the river often, how can you not wet your shoes? His father's strength wasn't very high either. After participating in so many trial missions, he finally disappeared without a trace in one of them. Finally, Xiao Chun found the last trial mission that his father participated in. At this moment he was extremely excited. It's here, this is it. Hakanamada Desert, Blazing Mountain, an expedition to the ruins of an ancient sect in search of treasures. However, at the end of the file, there was an explanation for Xiao Feng's expedition. It was because Blazing Mountain had a type of true tempering fire. This was a type of heavenly flame. It was said that bathing in the water boiled by this heavenly flame could cleanse one's marrow and achieve the effect of tempering one's body. It allowed ordinary people who couldn't cultivate to embark on the path of martial arts. Of course, these were all legends. No one had ever confirmed it. However, as long as there was a glimmer of hope, Xiao Feng wouldn't give up. Therefore, this Blazing Mountain in Hakanamada Desert was definitely a place he had to go. It was also because after he went to this place, there was no news of him at all. Including Cheng Minjing's uncle, none of them returned. However, what made Xiao Chun feel strange was that there was no other introduction in the file. For example, who issued this mission, who organized it, who the other team members were, or what kind of treasures they were looking for were not mentioned. It was just a general description. This made Xiao Chun a little puzzled. After all, this file about the Xiao family was very detailed from beginning to end. It even included how he picked up girls, and how he wooed Kerlin and Shin Jingxian. Furthermore, the trial missions that his father and second uncle had carried out were all very detailed, including the client, the issuer, the participants, the objective, and the rewards. However, this mission was the only one that was not detailed, as if they were purposely hiding something. Did you find it? Seeing Xiao Chun frown, Lu Shuangshuang immediately came over and looked at the file in Xiao Chun's hand. Then she asked, "Yes, I found it, but it doesn't seem to be written in detail." "I don't know why," Xiao Chun said. "Oh, let me see." Lu Shuangshuang also looked at it. Indeed, she also found that this mission was not written in detail. On her side, the mission that Xiao Chun performed with Yi Baiye as the White Fox was described in detail. But this was not the case. After thinking about it, Lu Shuangshuang said, "Could it be because this mission was not completed, so the record is not detailed? As for the others, they're only recorded in detail after the mission ends and the trial taker returns?" "That's possible." Xiao Chun listened to Lu Shuangshuang's analysis and nodded. "Then, I'll ask Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens to see if they know anything." "Yes, you can ask them." Lu Shuangshuang also agreed. The two of them guessed here, but they could not guess anything. Xiao Chun stood up and opened the door of the conference room. However, Chen Huanling, Xiao Ens, and Hong Lai did not wait here. They probably also knew that Xiao Chun would not be able to finish reading the information in a short time. It would take a long time, so they went to busy themselves first. In fact, Xiao Chun and Lu Shuangshuang also watched until the sky turned dark. It was now 9 o'clock in the evening. "Come here." Xiao Chun casually called over a warrior disciple who was patrolling back and forth in the warrior guild not far away. "Hello, Deputy Leader Yang." When the disciple heard Xiao Chun calling him, he immediately came over. "Do you need any help? You go and call Chun, Deputy President and Xiao Ens. I have something to talk to them about." Just as Xiao Chun wanted to say Chen Huanling, he suddenly remembered that he was his son, so he could not directly call him by his name. Okay, the disciple obviously knew who Xiao Chun was, so he immediately turned around and left after receiving the order. Not long after, Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens came over. They knew that Xiao Chun did not leave, so they worked overtime in the warrior guild and did not leave early. As expected, Xiao Chun had something to talk to them about. "Deputy Leader Yang, what's the matter?" Xiao Ens walked over and asked from afar. "Yang Tan, have you finished reading?" Chen Huanling also asked. Chapter 601. I'm almost done, but there's one thing I'm more interested in. Come and help me take a look. Xiao Chun said. "Oh, what's the matter?" Xiao Ens and Chen Huanling walked into the conference room together. "Take a look at this file." As Xiao Chun spoke, he passed the file in his hand to Xiao Ens and Chen Huanling, then said, I want to know where Xiao Chen's father Xiao Feng ran off to. Oh, Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens took the file and read it. Chen Huanling knew that Xiao Chen's father, Xiao Feng, was from a big family in Songning, so it was impossible for him not to know. However, he only heard that Xiao Feng went on a mission and then disappeared, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Now that he carefully read the file, he understood what was going on. Xiao Ens had never heard of it. He didn't even know Xiao Feng before, so he didn't care about the affairs of the Xiao family. He only had Xiao Chen as an enemy. Now that he finished reading the file, he was also confused. Didn't it say? Xiao Feng went to the Hakanamata desert to look for the ruins of the fiery mountain. Xiao En said after reading the file. Yes, he disappeared after he went there. Chen Huanling also nodded. He was a little puzzled as to why Yang Tan would care about this thing. Are there any specific details? Xiao Chen thought for a moment and said, This fiery mountain is the ruins of an ancient sect, right? Could it be that Xiao Feng went there to cultivate, so he won't come back? When he comes back and finds out that I forced his son, will he seek revenge on me? This shouldn't be possible, right? Chen Huanling was surprised. This was too far-fetched. He never thought of this possibility. However, if he thought about it carefully, it was not impossible. This is a little suspicious. Xiao Ens also said. So, do you have any specific details? Xiao Chen asked. Well, I wasn't elected as the vice president of the warrior guild at that time, so I didn't know anything about it. Chen Huanling said. I've just arrived, so I don't know. Xiao Ens echoed. We can only check the background and see if there are any details about this trial mission. Alright, you guys check it now. Xiao Chen nodded. I'm very interested in the blazing mountain ruins. If you have any relevant information, bring it to me. I'll wait for you here. It's a good time to take a break. I've been reading for a long time, and I'm a little tired. Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens nodded and said, Alright, we'll go investigate right now. The two quickly left the conference room and closed the door, letting Xiao Chen have a good rest. Lu Shuangshuang had nothing to do at the moment, so she looked at Xiao Chen. In fact, she didn't know why today, but she wanted to be intimate with Xiao Chen. However, she remembered that Xiao Chen said that this was a conference room, so she didn't continue. Instead, she stood up and strolled back and forth in the conference room to see if there was anything interesting to do here. Xiao Chen didn't pay attention to her. He closed his eyes to rest and gently operated the Heart Sutra chant, preparing to take advantage of this time to cultivate. Although Xiao Chen's cultivation speed was a lot slower, without the assistance of medicinal liquid and spirit jades, there was no harm in being diligent. However, what surprised Xiao Chen was that as soon as he started operating the Heart Sutra chant, a warm current spontaneously appeared in his dantian and instantly rushed to the meridians of his body. Xiao Chen suddenly felt that something was wrong. This feeling made his heart tremble, and his expression instantly became dignified. I'm about to break through. This feeling was similar to the previous few breakthroughs. It was the feeling of water overflowing from the dantian when it was full. However, this breakthrough came without any warning. Just a moment ago, Xiao Chen didn't feel anything, but as soon as he started operating the Heart Sutra chant, it happened. However, Xiao Chen didn't think too much about it. As he operated the Heart Sutra chant, the Yuan Qi flowed along the meridians, starting from the dantian, and finally flowed back to the dantian. As the Yuan Qi continued to increase, Xiao Chen also took a deep breath, knowing that the breakthrough was imminent. Boom! After about 10 minutes, Xiao Chen's body suddenly shook. The meridians in his body also felt like they were broken, bringing with it a tearing pain and a strong burning sensation. Xiao Chen knew that he had finally broken through again. However, at this moment, the clothes on his body were also torn and burned, and Xiao Chen's body also felt a cold breeze. This kind of breakthrough method of destroying clothes made Xiao Chen a little surprised. This was because this had happened many times before. But this time, when Xiao Chen broke through to the 10th level of the Qi refinement realm, it happened again. Could it be because the 10th level of the Qi refinement realm was a big realm? Or was it because of other reasons? Of course, this sudden breakthrough also made Xiao Chen a little surprised. He also didn't expect that he would break through in the conference room of the Warrior Guild. Lu Shuangshuang was looking around when she suddenly heard some noise behind her. When she turned around, she was immediately stunned. Xiaochun was actually sitting on the sofa naked. What kind of situation is this? Could it be that Xiaochun missed me? But because he rejected me before, he was too embarrassed to say it. So he used his actions to express it? Thinking of this, Lu Shuangshuang felt a burst of joy in her heart. She ran over, locked the conference room door, and instantly took off all her clothes. Then she jumped on the sofa and pounced on Xiaochun. "Hey, what are you doing?" Xiaochun was stunned. He was immersed in the joy and surprise of breaking through, when suddenly he saw a naked body approaching him. He didn't have to think to know that it was Lu Shuangshuang. "If you miss me, just say it. You even took off your clothes to hint to me," Lu Shuangshuang said. I. Only then did Xiaochun remember that his clothes were all destroyed, but he really didn't mean that. However, since he had just broken through to the 10th level of the Qi refinement realm, he was in a very good mood. When Lu Shuangshuang approached him, he was just very puzzled. This Lu Shuangshuang was really strong today. Just now in the lounge, it was also her first time. Right? Why was she so crazy? However, he was thinking in his heart, could it be related to the time when he was in the lounge with Lu Shuangshuang? So she broke through? It has something to do with it. I said it last time. But it only worked for the first few times. After that there was no effect. Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice sounded in Xiaochun's ear. Primordial Yin is also a kind of primordial energy. It is very pure. When it enters your body, you can naturally take the opportunity to break through. But after that, there is no effect. Then will she wither and die? Xiaochun was stunned and quickly asked. She is different from Shinjing Xian, so naturally she won't, Elder Heaven Ancestor said. But if it happens too many times, it will not be good for her. She will age easily. Oh, there is such a problem? Xiaochun was shocked. He had now regarded Lu Shuangshuang as his woman. If something happened to Lu Shuangshuang, he would naturally be worried. Although he could not say that he had fallen in love with Lu Shuangshuang completely, he certainly had some feelings for her. Naturally, Xiaochun could not ignore Lu Shuangshuang and only care about his own pleasure. It is inevitable. You are a cultivator, so your Taoist companion must be a cultivator too. You must find a female cultivator to make progress together. You need to find a mental cultivation method that she can practice with you. Only in this way can you make progress together. However, such mental cultivation methods are only available in some sects that practice dual cultivation. I don't have any of them either, Elder Heaven Ancestor explained. Fine. Xiaochun suddenly felt a bit depressed. Then, would Tang Tang be the same as Lu Shuangshuang? In that case, Miss Su and Jean Bebe would pass out. What am I thinking? What does it have to do with them? After they had been fooling around for a while, someone knocked on the door of the meeting room. Lu Shuangshuang was startled and hurried to get up. She was about to put on her clothes, but Xiaochun dragged her back. It is useless even if you put on your clothes. I haven't put them on yet. Where are your clothes? Lu Shuangshuang was dazed. They are all torn. Xiaochun smiled bitterly. Then you are truly crazy. Even if you are in a hurry, you don't have to do this, do you? You tore your clothes into pieces? Lu Shuangshuang was somewhat surprised. That's not it. Xiaochun said to the door of the meeting room. Prepare a set of clothes for me. My clothes are all torn. Outside the door, Chen Huanling and Xiao Ins were dazed. They looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They had guessed what was going on. They thought to themselves that Yang Jianan was truly a playboy. His clothes were all torn. However, they did not say anything. Xiao Ins nodded and gave all the files to Chen Huanling. Then, he ran out to buy some clothes. Seizing the opportunity, Xiaochun talked to Lu Shuangshuang for a while longer before he asked her to put on her clothes. Right, you don't need to take your medicine today? Should I ask them to buy some? An important question suddenly occurred to Xiaochun. Today is a safe period. You don't need to take it, Lu Shuangshuang said. I have condoms in my bag. Otherwise, I would have let you use them long ago. Oh, Xiaochun said. Lu Shuangshuang was really thoughtful. You carry these things with you every day. Wait for me to come back. How is that possible? Lu Shuangshuang rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen. As if I'm that thirsty. I now run all kinds of small stores in the warrior guild. Of course I sell these. Some warriors like to bring their lovers to the nearby jungle to have sex. Then I sell them at a high price. You really know how to make money. You have the medicine too? Xiao Chen asked. Yes, haha. I got the idea last time at the resort. Then, I bought some goods and sold them to people who need them. Lu Shuangshuang laughed. You don't know, but it's very profitable. Otherwise, how could I earn more than 1 million so quickly? Okay. Xiao Chen waited for Lu Shuangshuang to put on her clothes. Then, he asked her to help him get some clothes outside. Although Xiao Chen was a man, he did not want Chen Huanling and Lu Shuangshuang to see him. If they found out that he was not Yang Jiannan, it would be troublesome. Chapter 602. Lu Shuangshuang walked over and opened the door. She took the new clothes that Xiao En's bought and handed them to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen quickly put on the clothes and walked to the door to open it. Sorry, I was a little crazy just now. Xiao Chen naturally couldn't say that it was because of a breakthrough, but no one would doubt this reason. Haha, Deputy Team Leader Yang is young and strong, so it's understandable. Xiao En's laughed but didn't care. By the way, Deputy Team Leader Yang, we have found the information you wanted. Do you want to take a look? And let me see. Xiao Chen couldn't wait to reveal the truth. He was already a refinement stage 10th level cultivator, only one step away from the foundation building stage. As long as he succeeded in the foundation building stage, he wouldn't have to be afraid of Xia Zhili anymore. Xia Zhili seemed to be only a 5th or 6th level martial artist. As long as he killed him secretly, he believed that the other people in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wouldn't be the same as him. He would always have a chance to cancel Xiao Chen's wanted order. Of course, this was only an ideal situation. Maybe Xia Zhili, that old bastard, had hidden his strength or some trump card. Xiao Chen wouldn't be so stupid as to act rashly. The information is here. Xiao En's put the information on the tea table in the conference room and sat down with Chen Huanling. Deputy Team Leader Yang, according to our investigation, this mission is a bit strange. But although it's strange, according to what you think, the possibility of Xiao Feng coming back from learning is almost zero. Oh. Xiao Chen didn't show anything. He just picked up the file and flipped through it. This file was the trial mission from that year. Oh, it's a mission issued by a martial arts sect? Xiao Chen looked at the situation in this file and was a little surprised. Generally speaking, martial arts sects had their own outstanding disciples. They didn't need to issue a trial mission to do any mission, especially this kind of small mission. There were only 6 people in a team to explore. This was something they could have gathered themselves. But now they issued a mission from a small place like Songning. It was somewhat strange. It was understandable to go to a place like Lan City, but now, what sect is this? Xiao Chen asked. I'm not sure about that. It's not written in the dossier. Xiao En shook his head. What we know is what's in the dossier. What's not in the dossier we don't know either, because we didn't handle it. Then who was in charge of this mission? Why is it so vague? Xiao Chen frowned. Although this file had some content, it was completely vague. It only roughly described the situation of the mission. It didn't even say who the client was and what the mission was about. It only said to explore the ruins, but this exploration was too general. There are 2 possibilities. One is that the client of the mission is quite powerful. If it's really a big sect, then we have no choice but to keep it a secret. This is because the local warrior guild is only a deterrent to those loose cultivators and ordinary families. However, if it involves the true martial arts family or ordinary sects, then it won't be so effective. If it's a martial arts sect, then it won't have any deterrent power, Xiao En said. There's another possibility, which is that someone deliberately concealed it at that time. After all, even if it's not disclosed to the public, it's not a big deal to file it internally, but I don't think it's justifiable that there's no record internally, Chen Huanling said. Because the other party was his son, he didn't hide anything and said what he thought. Who was in charge of this mission at that time? Xiaochen nodded and asked. It's someone from the warrior guild. It's Chung Nanlu, Chen Huanling said. He was the vice president of the warrior guild at that time. Chung Nanlu? Isn't he dead? Xiaochen was stunned. He knew this Chung Nanlu. He was Chung Minjing's third grandfather. When he passed away, he and the Xiao family attended the funeral. At that time, there was no news of his father's disappearance. So, the Xiao family and the Chung family had a marriage relationship. But he was actually in charge of it. Was there something wrong with him? But this person was already dead. Xiaochen couldn't ask him even if he wanted to. But no matter what, there was one thing Xiaochen could be sure of. And that was that this matter was related to the Chung family. Thinking of this, Xiaochen decided to go to the Chung family and look for Chung Zhongfan and Chung Mingxiang. In the past, Xiaochen was afraid of alerting the enemy, and he was also afraid that his strength was not enough. But now it didn't matter. He was already wanted, and he had already done what he needed to do. The Chung family didn't matter anymore. He's dead, but the Chung family was the vice president at that time. It was also after he passed away that I had the opportunity to fill the vacancy after a few years of hard work. Chen Huanling nodded and said, Okay, I got it. Xiaochen nodded. It seems that the Xiao family is no longer a threat to me, but I don't know where Xiaochen is. But if you have Xiaochen's whereabouts, don't act rashly. Report to me immediately, and I will find a way to deal with it. Okay, no problem. Xiao Ens and Chen Huanling nodded. Xiaochen didn't say anything else, and directly left the warrior guild with Lu Shuangshuang. Uncle Chen, congratulations. Vice Team Leader Yang will take over the position of team leader. Xiao En said with a smile. Well, in our Chen family, he is the only one who can live up to expectations. Chen Huanling said proudly. After leaving the warrior guild, Xiaochen directly said to Lu Shuangshuang, I will send you back. Well, Lu Shuangshuang nodded. Will you still look for me? There will be a chance Xiaochen was a little speechless by Lu Shuangshuang's question. Indeed, if he sent Lu Shuangshuang back, he might not come to the warrior guild for a long time, and he would not look for Lu Shuangshuang. It's okay. I know, you want to look for your father. Lu Shuangshuang laughed. Besides, don't think that I want to do that with you. I won't. Even if you come looking for me, I won't agree. Well, Xiaochen knew that Lu Shuangshuang was comforting him, telling him not to care too much about her feelings. However, the more it was like this, the more Xiaochen felt that Lu Shuangshuang was good. This girl, from his initial hatred of her to gradually getting to know her, made Xiaochen see a different Lu Shuangshuang. You don't lack money now. At your age, you should go to university, right? Xiaochen thought for a while and asked, Are you willing to go to university? Can I help you? With Xiaochen's current identity as Yang Jiannan, it was not difficult for him to go to any university. As long as he arranged to go there in the name of a mission, it would be fine, and no one would ask too much. Lu Shuangshuang was a little confused. How could she not want to go to university? When she attended the class reunion, she saw that everyone was going to university, and she was the only one who entered society early. She was a little envious. However, she didn't dare to go to school now, because it was too far away from her. She had long forgotten the things in the books. Even if she went, she didn't know if she could keep up, and she didn't know if her mentality could return to her school days. Let me think about it. Lu Shuangshuang didn't agree immediately. She wanted to go, but she was a little worried that she would not fit in. With her current experience in society, it would be difficult for her to have a real friendship with her classmates when she went to school. She would worry about gains and losses a lot, and she could no longer make friends aimlessly like when she was a student. Well, let me know when you think about it. Xiaochen nodded. They arrived at Lu Shuangshuang's home. Xiaochen sent her back home, but he didn't follow her in. He returned to the car. He was going to visit the Chung family. Of course, he couldn't use his current appearance to go to the Chung family. He was going to change his clothes and use his original appearance. Xiaochen parked the car in a parking lot casually. He got out of the car, changed his appearance casually, and walked in the direction of the Xiao family. Of course, he wasn't going to greet the Xiao family. He was going to sneak into his room change his clothes and leave. What he was going to do tonight would probably make the Chung family furious the next day. At that time, he would go to the Xiao family to find them. It would be bad if they knew that he was back. Although he was strong now, the Xiao family wasn't. With his current identity as a wanted criminal, he had no way to deter others to protect the Xiao family. The Chung family liked to vent their anger on others the most, so if they found out that he went to the Chung family from the Xiao family, it would definitely be bad for the Xiao family. Xiao Chen didn't dare to guarantee that his second uncle had good acting skills. It would be bad if they found out that there was something wrong with him. He might as well just come and leave. With Xiao Chen's current strength, sneaking into the Xiao family's house and entering his room was a piece of cake. Xiao Chen didn't even turn on the lights. He carefully entered the bathroom, closed the door, and turned on the hot water to take a shower. Previously, he was intimate with Lu Shuangshuang, but he couldn't take a shower in the Warrior Guild. He could only come back to take a shower. He didn't want to go to the Chung family covered in sweat. Xiao Chen's sixth senses were strong, so he could see things in the dark. Therefore, he could take a shower in the dark. The other members of the Xiao family wouldn't notice that someone had come back from outside the villa. As for the sound of water, the walls of the villa were very soundproof, so it was impossible to hear it from outside. After taking a shower, Xiao Chen didn't put on the clothes from before. Instead, he took a bath towel and walked out of the bathroom. However, as soon as he entered the bedroom, he was shocked, because there was someone sitting in the dark on the bed in his bedroom. This situation gave Xiao Chen a shock, and the person in the dark was also shocked. She didn't expect that there would be someone in the room. She subconsciously screamed and turned on the switch of the dual control lights on the side of the bed. In fact, in his shock, Xiao Chen had already seen who this person was. However, he didn't expect that she would suddenly turn on the lights. This change made Xiao Chen's body slightly stiffen. Brother? The person on the bed was Xiao Xiao. She looked at the naked Xiao Chen in the middle of the room and was a little stunned. Chapter 603. Xiao Xiao, why are you here? Xiao Chen was also a bit puzzled. What is my sister doing? She is sitting on my bed in the dark. If I weren't brave enough, I would have thought it was a ghost. Brother, you. Although Xiao Xiao was frightened, when she saw that the person in front of her was Xiao Chen, she didn't have much panic. Instead, she looked up and down. What are you looking at? Xiao Chen was embarrassed and quickly covered his body with a bath towel. Brother, you are too stingy. We are brother and sister. When we were young, we often took a bath together. Xiao Xiao said disapprovingly. Can I still take advantage of you? That's not it. After all, we have grown up. Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed. Just like now, if I say that I want to watch you take a bath, you probably won't agree. Just watch. Do you want me to wash it for you now? Xiao Xiao still disagreed. I'm afraid of you. Xiao Chen thought that Xiao Xiao was joking and said, You turn around first. I will put on my clothes. Hey, you often put on clothes for me when I was young. Did you look at me for nothing? I look at you now, and you are like this? Xiao Xiao pouted and stared at Xiao Chen with some dissatisfaction. Can it be the same? Xiao Chen was a little ashamed. Forget it. Who cares about looks? Xiao Xiao turned her head away. Xiao Chen quickly took out the clothes from the closet and put them on. When he left home, he didn't bring any clothes. Even the mist didn't have winter clothes, so he could only go home to change. Okay, said Xiao Chen. Only then did Xiao Xiao turn her head. Brother, are you all right? Why did you come back suddenly? If there is nothing, you don't have to sneak back. Xiao Chen sighed and said, I came back secretly to change clothes. But you, Xiao Xiao, why did you suddenly appear in my room? I missed you, so I came to sit with you. Xiao Xiao blushed. She didn't even react like this when she saw Xiao Chen naked, but now she felt a little embarrassed and put down the photo in her hand. Xiao Chen glanced at it. It was a photo of him and Xiao Xiao during the Chinese New Year last year. At that time, Xiao Xiao had a cold expression on her face, and the two of them had only taken a photo at the request of her family. However, Xiao Chen had always cared about his sister, so he placed the photo on the bedside table. However, when Xiao Chen looked at the bedside table, he realized that the photo of his goddess, Shen Jingxian, had been closed and placed upside down on the bedside table. Thinking about Shen Jingshuan's photo, Xiaochen found it a little funny. Although he used to feel like a hedonistic young master, in reality, he was no different from a loser. He always had his goddess's photo on his bed. Xiaochen didn't ask much, nor did he find it strange. He knew that Xiao Zhao's indifference to him was actually to protect him. He just asked, "How's your family recently? How's Grandpa's health? Did anyone come looking for trouble?" "Not really. My family is very good. Grandpa's health is getting better." When Xiao Xiao said this, her eyes were full of admiration. "Brother, you are really amazing. You are so amazing. Why did you have to pretend in the past?" "It's not pretending." Xiaochen knew that Xiao Xiao probably wouldn't believe him even if he explained. "What about the family business? Did the Xie family betray us because of me?" "No, the Xie family has always been very well behaved and cooperative with our family." Xiao Xiao shook her head and said, "Brother, Xie Huang of the Xie family is not bad. He is much better than that Xie Chen." "That's good." This was also what Xiao Chen was most worried about. He was afraid that after he was wanted, others would alienate the Xiao family. But now it seemed that these people were not bad. Xiao Chen didn't make a mistake. "Xiao Xiao, if there's nothing else, I will leave first." "Ah, you are leaving now." Xiao Xiao was a little disappointed. "I thought you could stay tonight. Don't you want to sleep if I stay?" Xiao Chen smiled. "I want to sleep with you," Xiao Xiao said instead. "Together?" Xiao Chen was stunned and said, "You and me? Together?" "Yeah, brother. Why do you always think about these complicated things? Didn't we often sleep together when we were young? You even hugged me to sleep," Xiao Xiao said. "It must be after you slept with Shen Jingxian. So your thoughts became complicated." Xiao Chen suddenly broke into a sweat. How did it involve Shen Jingxian again? Xiao Xiao seems to have always been displeased with Shen Jingxian. He didn't know if it was the inherent hostility of a sister-in-law to a sister-in-law. "Next time, I am going to the Cheng family today to do some business," said Xiao Chen. "Go to the Cheng family?" Xiao Xiao was stunned. "Brother, why are you going to the Cheng family? To see Qing Minjing? That's not right. Doesn't she live alone in the villa?" "No, my father. The mission of your uncle's disappearance was handled by Cheng Nanlu, the vice president of the warrior guild of the Cheng family at that time. Although Cheng Nanlu is dead, I think Cheng Zhongfan and Cheng Mingqiang should know about it. I will ask them." Xiao Chen was not afraid to tell these things to Xiao Xiao, because even Xiao Chen had to admire Xiao Zhao's acting skills. She could even be a movie queen. "You are going? Just like that? Isn't that exposed?" Xiao Xiao was shocked. "Will the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau arrest you? How about I go to Cheng Mingqiang to ask for you?" "No need. If you don't like him, don't contact him in the future," Xiao Chen said. "I said last time that if you don't want to marry, don't marry. No one can force you in the future. If you find someone you really like, I will support you." Xiao Zhao's face turned red again. "I am not afraid of being exposed now. I am already wanted. Can it be worse? Now the Cheng family should be afraid of me. I have nothing to fear. They dare not do anything to me." Xiao Chen smiled. "Okay, then be careful," Xiao Xiao said. "I heard Cheng Mengqiang vaguely mention that his father is not ordinary. You have to be careful." "And I will be careful." Xiao Chen nodded. "Cheng Zhongfan is not ordinary. I didn't see anything unusual, but this was probed by Xiao Xiao. He must be careful. Then I will go." Xiao Xiao nodded. Xiao Chen hurriedly got up and was ready to go out, but he was hugged by Xiao Xiao from behind. "Brother, Xiao Chen was stunned and turned his head. "Xiao Xiao, what's wrong?" "Nothing. I just want to hug you," Xiao Xiao blinked and said. "Oh," Xiao Chen smiled. "Brother, aren't you a siscon? Why are you not happy at all?" Xiao Xiao asked. "Don't talk about me. I think you are the one who has a complicated mind." Xiao Chen glared at her. "I'm just kidding." Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue. "Okay, I'm leaving." Xiao Chen rubbed Xiao Zhao's head helplessly, turned around and left, disappearing into the darkness outside the villa. Xiao Xiao looked at the back of Xiao Chen. She was a little dazed. She turned off the light and lay on Xiao Chen's bed. She planned to stay here tonight. He came all the way to the Cheng family. Xiao Chen had been here many times, so he was familiar with the way. He directly found Cheng Zhongfan's villa. To Xiao Chen's surprise, Cheng Mingqiang was also there. The two people were talking about something. Xiao Chen didn't go in directly. Instead, he listened on the side to see what they were talking about. Dad, Xiao Chen disappeared recently. My relationship with Xiao Xiao is also ruined. What should we do next? Cheng Mingqiang looked a little anxious and paced around. What are you panicking for? Cheng Zhongfan frowned and said, You are pacing left and right in front of me. You are shaking me to death. It is impossible for you to take over the Xiao family now. We have shed all pretense of cordiality with the Xiao family. The Xiao family recently relied on the Xie family. It is no longer the broken Xiao family. This is not the main point. The main point is that Xiao Chen has disappeared now. We can't target him according to the intention of the people behind you. If we don't kill Xiao Chen, will they still support us? Cheng Mingqiang was a little worried. Xiao Chen is the white fox. None of us expected this. This guy has been hiding his strength. There is nothing you can do if you can't deal with him. Those people didn't say anything, but I'm afraid they will not support us in the future. Cheng Zhongfan sighed. This is also inevitable. Do you think they will still support us as before without benefits? That's true. Cheng Mingqiang was a little disappointed, but it doesn't matter. You will be promoted eventually. Even if the Cheng family can't be promoted to a real martial arts family, it will still be the boss of Songning. Cheng Zhongfan said. When you are promoted, I will also leave. When I return to the sect, I will see if I can make contributions and find a way to take care of the Cheng family. Dad, are you leaving? Cheng Mingqiang was shocked. Xiao Chen disappeared, so my undercover mission over these years is over. It's time to go back. Cheng Zhongfan sighed. But you don't have to worry. I will leave after you confirm the position of the young master. Dad, if you knew this would happen, you would have killed Xiao Chen yourself. Cheng Mingqiang said with hatred. You shouldn't have been so afraid at that time. No, the sect behind me wants to kill Xiao Chen and the Xiao family, but we can't let others know that we did it. And we can't involve the sect behind it. They seem to want to lure someone out. Cheng Zhongfan said. Lure who? I don't know the details. After Cheng Zhongfan answered this sentence subconsciously, he was stunned because the voice that asked was not Cheng Mingqiang, but another abrupt voice. He turned around in fright, only to see Xiao Chen standing at the door with a faint smile on his face. Xiao Chen. Cheng Zhongfan's eyes widened, and he looked at Xiao Chen incredulously. He was not afraid, but he said strangely, You still dare to show up? Ha 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 ha, Xiao Chen, you actually took the initiative to come to me? Cheng Mingqiang was also very happy when he saw it. He was still worried about Xiao Chen hiding and not showing up. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Chen appeared by himself. Chapter 604. It's really strange. Why don't I dare to show up? Xiao Chen smiled and looked at Cheng Zhongfan. Isn't it strange for you to say this? Don't tell me this is a tiger's den? Xiao Chen, you heard what we said just now, right? Do you think you can still leave? Cheng Zhongfan looked at Xiao Chen coldly. He didn't expect Xiao Chen to be so bold. He actually dared to come here. He didn't know what death was. I heard it. It turns out that the mastermind behind the scenes is really your Cheng family. Xiao Chen couldn't help but sigh. To be honest, because of Menjing, I didn't want to do anything to the Cheng family. And I didn't want to believe that the Cheng family was the one who harmed my Xiao family. But now you admitted it yourself, so I can only be merciless. You? Merciless? Cheng Mingqiang listened to Xiao Chen's words as if he had heard a big joke. Ha 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 ha, Xiao Chen, you don't know what to do now that you have a little strength? Yes, I admit that you have the strength of the peak of the 8th stage of inner force. But so what? Do you think we are really afraid of you? I only know that you are trash who just reached the 4th stage of inner force. Xiao Chen looked at Cheng Mingqiang and said faintly, I'm trash. You were trash before. How dare you say that I'm trash? You are really shameless. Xiao Chen, do you really think that my Qing family is weak? Cheng Mingqiang knew that Xiao Chen couldn't leave the Cheng family, so he didn't hide anything. Besides, Xiao Chen just heard their biggest secret, so he didn't mind letting him know more before he died. Oh, isn't it? Xiao Chen asked with a smile. Cheng Zhongfan was so angry that his teeth itched. Looking at Xiao Chen's annoying expression, he finally couldn't help but say, "Then you're wrong. It's true that the other members of the Cheng family are weak, but I, Cheng Zhongfan, may look like I'm only at stage 7 inner force, but in reality." After saying this, Cheng Zhongfan's devil chi suddenly appeared. At this moment his level 3 devil master strength was revealed, causing Xiao Chen to be shocked. Level 3 fiend master? Xiao Chen didn't expect Cheng Zhongfan to have the strength of a stage 3 devil. This was completely different from his previous stage 7 inner force. "Haha, how is it? Are you scared now?" Cheng Mingqiang laughed happily when he saw Xiao Chen's surprised look. "Xiao Chen, did you think you were hiding your strength? Do you think everyone else is a fool? To tell you the truth, I, Cheng Mingqiang, have been targeting you and wanting to kill you. That Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping are my subordinates. If it wasn't for me being afraid of exposing our Cheng family and implicating the sect behind my father, I would have sent you to heaven myself." "Oh, you're lucky you didn't do it yourself. Otherwise you'd be dead by now," Xiao Chen said indifferently. "Humph." Cheng Mingqiang smiled coldly. "Xiao Chen, if you kneel and beg for mercy now, I can leave your corpse intact. Oh, but before that, can you tell me who is behind you and wants to deal with the Xiao family?" Xiao Chen asked. "You don't need to know." Cheng Zhongfan smiled coldly and said, "Today is the day you die." "Is that so?" Xiao Chen smiled. "I know you're a stage 3 devil master, but I'm still standing here and not running. Don't you think it's strange?" Cheng Zhongfan was slightly stunned. "I can defeat that martial master Yang Tan. Don't you think it's strange as well?" Xiao Chen continued to ask. "What do you mean?" Cheng Zhongfan frowned. "You're a martial master?" "What I mean is, it might take me some effort to kill you, but killing Cheng Mingqiang is as easy as flipping my hand. Your son can die now." Xiao Chen chuckled and looked at Cheng Mingqiang maliciously. "Mingqiang, leave quickly. Don't stay here. I'll deal with him." Cheng Zhongfan finally thought of the battle between Xiao Chen and Yang Tan. Since Yang Tan was a stage 1 martial master and was defeated by Xiao Chen, then Xiao Chen's strength could not be underestimated. However, he was not afraid. He was a stage 3 devil master, much stronger than Yang Tan. Cheng Mingqiang's expression changed. Cheng Zhongfan could defeat Xiao Chen, but it did not mean that he was a match for Xiao Chen. He subconsciously retreated, wanting to leave this place. Too late. Xiao Chen threw a fireball at him without any warning. How could Cheng Mingqiang, a stage 4 inner strength martial artist, dodge it? He was hit by the fireball with a hoo sound. His whole body was on fire. "Ouch!" Cheng Mingqiang screamed. He quickly fell to the ground and rolled around. Cheng Zhongfan was shocked and angry. He glared at Xiao Chen. The next moment he made his move. A fire dragon shot out from his hand and pounced at Xiao Chen. It turned out that he was also a devil cultivator who used fire attribute martial arts. "Isn't this too weak?" Xiao Chen directly threw an ice ball and extinguished the fire dragon. "You are also a stage 3 devil master? Your level is really low." They were both stage 3 martial masters. Xiao Chen felt that this guy gave off a completely different feeling from the stage 3 martial rider in Lego Town. Of course, this Cheng Zhongfan was weak. It was also because Xiao Chen had leveled up. How is this possible? You are an ice and fire dual cultivator? Cheng Zhongfan looked at Xiao Chen in shock. They were both devil cultivators. He had never heard of any devil cultivator who could dual cultivate ice and fire. Normal martial artists knew that ice and fire were incompatible. How was it possible for them to dual cultivate? "What do you think?" Xiao Chen did not answer. Instead, he asked, "Now can you tell me who is behind you?" "Humph. It's just that I didn't expect you to dual cultivate ice and fire." "Do you really think I can't do anything to you?" Cheng Zhongfan sneered and continued to attack Xiao Chen. "Oh, I don't know if you can do anything to me, but your son can't do anything to my fire. He's about to be burned to death." "How tragic." Xiao Chen sighed. "He is my brother-in-law. It's too tragic for him to die like this. Minjing can't scold me when I get home, right? Ah. Cheng Zhongfan was stunned. Only then did he see that his son was still rolling on the ground. He suddenly said angrily, "You wait for me first. I'll deal with you later." "Oh, do whatever you want." Xiao Chen crossed his legs and sat on the sofa in the villa's living room. He watched with interest as Cheng Zhongfan extinguished the fire. Cheng Zhongfan first found some clothes and bedsheets, and began to help Cheng Mengqiang extinguish the fire. But after putting it out for a long time, he couldn't do anything. This was still because Xiao Chen was lenient. Otherwise, a fireball would have turned him into a pile of ashes. However, Xiao Chen still had to ask some questions. So in order to prevent Cheng Zhongfan from doing something desperate, he didn't plan to kill Cheng Mengqiang. Naturally, he wouldn't take advantage of this time to sneak attack Cheng Zhongfan. Cheng Zhongfan busied himself for a long time, but there was no effect. Cheng Mengqiang rolled faster and faster on the ground. He screamed again and again, but the fire couldn't be controlled at all. After a while, Cheng Zhongfan saw that it couldn't go on like this. He rushed to the bathroom and got a washing machine's inlet pipe from somewhere. He began to sprinkle water on Cheng Mengqiang, but it still didn't have any effect. Cheng Mengqiang was still screaming. His skin was burned black. It was a horrible sight. That. Xiao Chen. Cheng Zhongfan had no choice but to ask Xiao Chen for help. He had never seen such a strange martial art. It could even burn people endlessly. If he couldn't put it out, wouldn't he be burned alive? What for? Xiao Chen curled his lips and asked unhurriedly. That. Can you help me put out the fire? What do you want to know? I'll tell you, okay? Cheng Zhongfan only had this one son. He didn't have any illegitimate children. If he was burned to death, then he would cry to death. Oh, you should have said it earlier. Xiao Chen threw a water ball, and the fire on Cheng Mengqiang's body was extinguished. However, he was also gasping for breath on the ground. Obviously, even if he was a martial artist, he was burned badly and almost died. Cheng Zhongfan was very angry in his heart. Did I say it earlier? Wouldn't it be fine if you don't burn? However, he didn't dare to be serious with Xiao Chen. He had tasted Xiao Chen's power. At this time, Cheng Mengqiang was half dead from the fire. He couldn't escape. He could only lie on the ground. He was afraid that if he angered Xiao Chen would really kill Cheng Mengqiang. Xiao Chen, what do you want to know? Ask. Cheng Zhongfan could only swallow his anger for his son. There was no other way. He wanted to kill Xiao Chen at once, but it was impossible. If he dared not, then Xiao Chen would definitely kill Cheng Mengqiang. Tell me what you have done to the Xiao family all these years. Xiao Chen said. If you say it well, I'll forget about today's matter. If you say it badly, even if Minjing scolds me, I will kill Cheng Mengqiang. This kid is too wicked. He even wants to occupy my sister. He really doesn't know what's good for him. That. Young hero Xiao, can I say it? Don't threaten me first. Cheng Zhongfan had no choice but to say. In the beginning, it was my uncle Cheng Nanlu's idea to deal with the Xiao family. He is a martial artist like me. Martial artist? Xiao Chen frowned. Recently, he had heard this word more than once. There were several kinds of sections. Now the common sects in the secular world were basically ordinary sections. As for the pugilistic world, it was a higher level. People from the pugilistic world rarely appeared in the secular world. For example, Granny Nanshan and Kai Wujin were from the pugilistic world. Xiao Chen hadn't expected Cheng Nanlu and Cheng Zhongfan to be from the pugilistic world too. This made his heart tremble. If it was an ordinary sect, as the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team B, it wouldn't be a problem for him to investigate. However, the martial arts world was not his scope. Xiao Chen didn't know if Team A had the authority to investigate, but he didn't. It seemed that his opponent was really strong. However, Xiao Chen didn't understand. Was a small Xiao family worth the martial artists taking action? Even the true martial families and ordinary true martial sects would disdain to make a move on the Xiao family, right? Not to mention the martial artists. Chapter 605. Yes, we are all from the martial arts world, and we have our own rules. We can't just attack the families and ordinary people in the secular world. So I haven't done anything to you. Instead, I trained Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping through Mengchang to attack you. Cheng Zhongfan explained. I didn't expect you to hide your strength so well. Your strength is actually not inferior to mine. This was the truth of Cheng Zhongfan. In just one exchange, he knew that he was not 100% sure that he could defeat Xiao Chen. In that case, he would not take the risk. Why? Did the Xiao family offend you? Xiao Chen asked angrily. They didn't offend me. Actually, I don't know the sect's intentions. Cheng Zhongfan said. My uncle Cheng Nanlu and I are only outer sect disciples of the martial arts world sections. We know very little, but the sect promised that if we deal with the Xiao family, they will help us upgrade the Cheng family to a real martial arts family. What's the name of your sect? What did they just say about luring someone out to deal with us? Xiao Chen asked after some thought. Our sect is called the Quishan sect. It's a demonic sect. As for why, I don't know. They just said that they want us to deal with the Xiao family as much as possible, so that they can lure out the person they are looking for. Cheng Zhongfan said. They won't tell me the specifics and I don't dare to ask. What else do you know? What kind of trial mission did my father go on? Xiao Chen frowned. This Cheng Zhongfan was a lackey. I don't know. The whole mission was arranged by the Quishan sect for my uncle. I only know that they went to explore the ruins of the Fire Mountain in the Hakanamada Desert. I don't know the specifics, so I didn't ask, Cheng Zhongfan said. Cheng Zhongfan, you're making things difficult for me. You don't know anything, and you want me to let you go? Xiao Chen looked at Cheng Zhongfan coldly. But I really don't know. I'm just a nobody. I'm here to carry out this mission, Cheng Zhongfan said. My uncle Cheng Nanlu might know about the trial, but he is no longer here. Besides, don't think that I'm really afraid of you. In fact, if it weren't for Cheng Mingxiang, I would have killed you already. Ha! Xiao Chen stood up. Look at you. You think you're pretty strong? Let me tell you. I've killed more than one martial artist. I've killed many martial artists. I've even reached the 3rd level. I've killed a few. Why don't we spar? If you don't attack Cheng Mingxiang, I'll fight you fairly, Cheng Zhongfan said. That's hard to say. I might accidentally injure him. Xiao Chen smiled. His expression seemed to be telling Cheng Zhongfan that he would definitely accidentally injure him. You're shameless. Cheng Zhongfan was furious. Huh, I'm shameless, right? Then I'll burn Cheng Mingxiang to death first. Xiao Chen said unhurriedly. Fine. What do you want? Cheng Zhongfan was about to be driven mad by Xiao Chen. Elder Heaven Ancestor, can you let this person be my spy? He can give me information or something. Xiao Chen asked the Elder Heaven Ancestor in his heart. He thought that if Cheng Zhongfan returned to the sect, it would be good to ask him to help inquire about some things. That can't be done unless you let Xiaoma take over your body. But if you take over such a trash, Xiaoma will lose his original ability. It's not worth it. The Elder Heaven Ancestor thought about it and said, I am Master, don't let me take over his body. He's too weak, and his body isn't suitable for me to cultivate. I'll be crippled after I go over. Master, don't tell me you don't want me anymore? Xiaoma was also shocked and said quickly, Oh, forget it then. Xiao Chen felt that this Xiaoma was still very useful. It wasn't worth wasting him like this. Forget it. Cheng Zhongfan, ask me about my father's disappearance again. Xiao Chen also saw that this guy really didn't know. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such a crazy expression. Then I will find a chance to ask you again. Don't think about waiting for me to leave to take revenge on the Xiao family. If you take revenge on the Xiao family, I can also secretly take revenge on the Cheng family. You saw the situation just now, right? If I burn the Cheng family, you won't even be able to put out the fire. Yes. Cheng Zhongfan's heart suddenly trembled. If Xiao Chen didn't remind him, he really wanted to encourage the Cheng family to deal with the Xiao family. But now that he thought about it, it was tantamount to courting death. He couldn't crack Xiao Chen's strange fire martial skill. If he really burned the Cheng family, then he could only cry. Don't think about looking for me. Even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau can't find me, let alone a useless person like you. Xiao Chen reminded him. He wasn't afraid of anything. But if this guy said with great fanfare that Xiaochen appeared in Songning, it would bring him some trouble. I understand this. Cheng Zhongfan nodded. If I say so, how can I ask for information for you? I'm not stupid. Yes, I hope we can have a pleasant cooperation. You said it yourself earlier that you want to return to your sect. I can't find your sect, but Cheng Mingqiang is right here. Even if he's my brother-in-law, if you don't behave yourself, I'll kill him all the same. Xiaochen threatened. I know. Cheng Zhongfan responded gloomily. He never thought that Xiaochen, who he had always looked down on, would one day sit on his head and shit on him. He didn't dare to resist. Things were really different now. Oh, then goodbye. Xiaochen nodded and turned to leave. He said, You can sneak up on me. I'm not that stupid. You must be ready. As soon as I sneak up on you, you sneak up on Cheng Mingqiang, and then say that I deserved it. Do you really think I'm a fool? Cheng Zhongfan snorted. Oh, up to you. Xiaochen found it funny and left. Who? Looking at the back of Xiaochen leaving, Cheng Zhongfan rushed to Cheng Mingqiang. Mingqiang, how are you? Are you okay? Dad, I'm fine. Xiaochen obviously wanted to torture me. If he wanted to kill me, it would be easy, but he didn't do so. I hate him. Cheng Mingqiang said with hatred. I want revenge. Revenge is a must, but not now. Your strength is too low, and I can't expose my strength in public. If my identity is investigated, it will affect the sect. Cheng Zhongfan shook his head. Mingqiang, don't worry. Dad will definitely take revenge for you, but you have to endure it first. I understand. Cheng Mingqiang nodded heavily, his eyes flashing with hatred. Xiaochen left the Cheng family and walked on the streets of Songning in the cold winter. Looking at the bustling night view on the street, he felt a little emotional. He thought of Xiao Xiao again. When he was young, he always took Xiao Xiao to stroll on the streets around the New Year. At that time, Xiao Xiao was like a little follower who stuck to him. It had been many years since he had such a feeling. However, when he suddenly thought of Xiao Xiao's unusual behavior today, Xiaochen was a little puzzled. After that, Xiao Xiao had been alienating me, but now she began to stick to me? Is it because I didn't have strength before? And after revealing my strength, Xiao Xiao began to treat me well again? It shouldn't be. Xiaochen felt that Xiao Xiao wasn't that kind of snobbish girl. Otherwise, the Cheng family was so strong. And Cheng Mingqiang also hinted to her that he had an extraordinary father, but Xiao Xiao wasn't moved. After thinking about it, Xiaochen suddenly thought of the photo of Shen Jingxian that was taken off the bed. Xiaochen's heart moved slightly. Could it be that I grew up and went to chase other girls, and I didn't play with her anymore? So she was angry? This was possible, but Xiaochen felt a little funny. This was human nature. Xiao Xiao actually threw a little tantrum at him. However, it was understandable that she was younger than me. When can I hold Xiao Xiao's hand and walk on the street full of New Year's goods like when I was a child? Xiaochen felt that he was a little lonely now. He must find a way to change all this. At this moment, he didn't change his face. Anyway, as long as Cheng Zhongfan wasn't stupid, he probably wouldn't chase him. From the last sentence that he said, he was already a little timid. Cheng Zhongfan was probably really afraid that Xiaochen would come back and harm the Cheng family, and he really couldn't think of a way to deal with his Samadhi true fire. Suddenly, Xiaochen heard footsteps coming from behind him, which made his heart tremble slightly. But then, a smile flashed at the corner of his mouth. A pair of somewhat cold little hands reached into the back of his coat and stuck to the skin of his chest. With a trace of coolness, it made Xiaochen feel a little warm. Xiao Xiao, why are you here? Xiaochen said with some surprise. He hadn't felt this feeling for many years. When he was a child, Xiao Xiao always liked to do this and let him warm her hands. I couldn't sleep, so I came out for a stroll. I saw you. Xiao Xiao smiled and said, Brother, are we fated? Can we all be born in the Xiao family if we aren't fated? Xiaochen couldn't help but laugh after listening. That's true. Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue and pulled out her little hand. She held Xiaochen's arm and said, Accompany me to buy some New Year's goods. I haven't come out for a long time. Do second uncle and grandpa know that you ran out by yourself? Asked Xiaochen. Of course they don't know. Besides, I'm already so big. I don't need to tell them when I come out. Xiao Xiao said and naturally leaned on Xiao Chen's body. Ahem. Xiao Chen's face suddenly became a little unnatural. He felt a strange softness on his arm. He couldn't help but say, Xiao Xiao, why are you wearing so little when you come out? You have grown up. You have to pay attention to your relationship with me. Xiao Xiao was stunned and then thought of something. She blushed and said, Brother, why are your thoughts always so complicated? We were like this every time when we were young, and you didn't think much about it. Now you must have slept with Shen Jingxian a lot, and that's why you became like this. You think about problems in a perverted way. She has led you astray. Chapter 606. What does this have to do with Jingxian? Xiao Chen said. As expected, Xiao Xiao had some hostility towards Shen Jingxian. I just don't like her. She saw you show your strength, so she came to seduce you. Goddess. Xiao Xiao curled her lips. That's your sister-in-law. Don't talk nonsense. If you talk nonsense again, I'll really get angry. Xiao Chen was still very protective of Shen Jingxian. Well, you forget your sister after getting a wife. Typical. Xiao Xiao shrugged and looked at Xiao Chen unhappily. If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Good advice is unpleasant to the ear. What nonsense. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay, let's see if there's anything good. I'll buy it for you. That's a good word. Xiao Xiao happily squatted in front of a stall and looked carefully. Xiao Xiao used to enjoy these goods every time. It would take at least 1 or 2 hours to finish picking them up. Xiao Chen stood aside and waited patiently. Xiao Xiao. Brother Xiao Chen? A surprised voice sounded. Xiao Chen turned his head and was slightly startled. The person who had come was actually Qi Zhigao, and there was a girl beside him. She looked fair and clean, and although she was not as pretty as Xiao Xiao, her temperament was somewhat similar to Xiao Zhao's. Qi Zhigao, why are you here? Xiao Chen was also a little surprised. Brother Xiao Chen, long time no see. Qi Zhigao saw Xiao Xiao and was a little embarrassed, but he still adjusted his mood well. Xiao Xiao, this is my fiancée. I accompanied her out for a walk. It's almost New Year, so I wanted to buy some goods. So it's your fiancé. Xiao Chen didn't expect that Qi Zhigao had already given up on Xiao Xiao. But thinking about it, Xiao Xiao was already engaged to Cheng Mingqiang. It was useless for him not to give up. Yes, it's Chao Yuling from the Chao family. I'm also preparing to officially compete for the position of the young master of the Qi family, Qi Zhigao said. Xiao Chen was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Qi Zhigao would think it through and understand the importance of marriage. Moreover, the person he found was not weak. It turned out to be a member of the Chao family in Songning. However, the Chao family was not strong enough in Xiao Chen's eyes. Congratulations. Xiao Xiao smiled and said, You finally found your true love. The corner of Qi Zhigao's mouth twitched, but he didn't explain anything. In fact, he still liked Xiao Xiao, but he could also see that Xiao Xiao only regarded him as a good friend, but she never liked him. Chao Yuling looked at Xiao Chen, and then at Xiao Xiao. She smiled and said, So you are Xiao Chen. My brother has told me about you. Hehe. Xiao Chen didn't start this topic. It was probably not something good. If Qi Zhigao was willing to find a member of the Chao family, it was his business. Xiao Chen didn't want to talk more with him. Then we'll go first. You can do your work. Qi Zhigao nodded to Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao. Okay, when are you getting married? Don't forget to tell me. I'll go and congratulate you. Xiao Xiao smiled. Sure. Qi Zhigao also smiled. After the two left, Chao Yuling asked Qi Zhigao, Is that Xiao Xiao whom you have been pursuing? It's all in the past. Qi Zhigao was a little embarrassed. It's nothing. Xiao Xiao doesn't look like a good person. She looks at her brother with a flirtatious look. She doesn't like you. She is so close to her brother. I don't know what kind of dirty things they do at home. Chao Yuling curled her lips and said, Yuling, how can you speculate so maliciously? They are brother and sister. How could it be possible? Qi Zhigao frowned. Who said brother and sister are? Oh, I mean they don't look like each other at all. Maybe one of them was adopted. Chao Yuling said sarcastically. Alas, Qi Zhigao sighed. He didn't know whether his choice was right or wrong. This Chao Yuling was a little mean. Although she wasn't as notorious as Qi Ziyuan's fiancé, Chen Xiaojiao, she wasn't a virgin anymore. Although she said that she accidentally broke it when she was exercising, Qi Zhigao didn't believe it. He was not stupid and couldn't tell the difference between anti-fans and fans. He just reluctantly accepted it. As a daughter of a big family, no matter what happened in the past, it would be fine as long as she behaved herself after getting engaged. To his relief, there had never been a rumor that Chao Yuling had a boyfriend. He also investigated, and it was true that Chao Yuling did not have a boyfriend. Therefore, Qi Zhigao could only think that Chao Yuling was born like this, or she secretly comforted herself, so it could be considered as a comfort. Today, when he saw Xiao Xiao, Qi Zhigao recalled the previous memories. It was originally quite beautiful, but after being ridiculed by Chao Yuling, he suddenly lost the mood and was absent-minded. Chao Yuling's cell phone rang. Chao Yuling picked it up and said to Qi Zhigao, "It's my home phone. I'll answer it." As she spoke, she went to the side to answer the phone. Qi Zhigao was too lazy to eavesdrop. He looked at the night market and was a little lost in thought. Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao chose some New Year's goods, and then they were about to get up and leave. Suddenly, several people appeared in front of them, which made them slightly stunned. "Xiao Chen, you are under arrest," the leader of the black-shirt man shouted at Xiao Chen. "I'm Captain Su Yonglong of the Songming branch of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You should obediently surrender, or we will take coercive measures." Xiao Chen looked at Su Yonglong in front of him with some bafflement. How did they find this place? This was really strange. Moreover, was this guy retarded? I can even defeat Yang Tan. Does he think he is better than Yang Tan? I don't want to go against you. Even Yang Jiannan is not my opponent. Xiao Chen said faintly. If you don't want to die, leave quickly. I will pretend that nothing happened. Ha 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 ha, Xiao Chen. Do you think I will use force against you? Su Yonglong suddenly smiled. He directly took out a pistol and pointed it at Xiao Chen, saying, "Surrender, or I will shoot. Do you think you can dodge a bullet?" Su Yonglong also saw the video provided by Xia Shibin. He knew that Xiao Chen was also afraid of bullets, so he specially prepared before coming. "Oh, do as you wish." Xiao Chen glanced at him and ignored him. He directly turned around and took Xiao Xiao's hand, saying, "Xiao Xiao, let's go." Ah. Xiao Xiao was a little worried because Su Yonglong was still holding a pistol. If he shot, wouldn't her brother be in trouble? However, out of trust for Xiao Chen, Xiao Xiao did not turn back and walked forward with Xiao Chen. "Well, you want to resist arrest? Then don't blame me for being impolite." Su Yonglong pulled the trigger. Bang! The sudden gunshot sounded. The surrounding vendors had already retreated far away. They thought that they had encountered the scene of the police arresting a thief. Xiao Xiao's heart suddenly twitched. The other party really shot. She was a little shocked and squeezed Xiao Chen's hand. After the gunshot, she wanted to see Xiao Chen's situation, but she heard a scream. Ouch! This sound wasn't Xiao Chen's but a little like Su Yonglong's. Xiao Xiao turned around and saw Su Yonglong's right hand was full of blood. His hand was already a mess of flesh and blood. There was also a pistol on the ground that could not be seen. Captain Su. The other two people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau immediately surrounded him. They couldn't understand why Su Yonglong's pistol exploded. They couldn't care less about Xiao Chen. Without the pistol, they were not Xiao Chen's opponent at all. They could only watch Xiao Chen walk away. In the Cheng family, Cheng Mingqiang had just applied the healing ointment that Cheng Zhongfan brought back from the sect. He was usually reluctant to use this ointment, but he had to use it at this moment. Cheng Mingqiang, who had applied the ointment, felt a lot more comfortable. He lay on the bed, and his heart calmed down a lot. He knew that with the current strength of the Cheng family, it was absolutely impossible to go against Xiao Chen. He could only endure it and wait for a chance to take revenge in the future. The phone rang, and Cheng Mingqiang picked up the phone with some difficulty. "Who is it?" "Young Master Cheng, I'm Chao Yuliang," said Chao Yuliang. "Oh, it's Liangzi. It's so late. What's the matter?" asked Cheng Mingqiang. Guess who Chao Yuling and Qi Zhigao met on the street today? Chao Yuliang said with some excitement. Who? Cheng Mingqiang didn't have the mood to play guessing with Chao Yuliang. He said impatiently, what does it have to do with me who that little b** tch met? Could it be that she was not satisfied at home and went to find a new lover? Speaking of Chao Yuliang's sister, Chao Yuling, Cheng Mingqiang's heart was refreshed. He had always been suppressed by Qi Zhigao. Originally, he was able to get back at him with Xiao Zhao's matter. But he didn't expect that Xiao Xiao broke off the engagement, and he didn't take advantage of it at all. It was really annoying. Fortunately, Qi Zhigao didn't catch up with Xiao Xiao, which was more or less a comfort. However, there was a cool thing next. Qi Zhigao's fiancé actually chose Chao Yuling. He was about to laugh wildly. Qi Zhigao finally picked up the leftovers. I met Xiao Chen. Chao Yuliang didn't have the mood to talk about other things. He quickly said, Xiao Chen actually dared to appear in Songning City. He really doesn't want to live. Oh, when Cheng Mengqiang heard that he met Xiao Chen, he suddenly lost interest. Young Master Cheng, after Yuling told me the news, I reported it to the Songning branch of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau immediately. Ha 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 ha. Now, it is estimated that the Songning branch of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau has already gone to catch Xiao Chen. Chao Yuliang said proudly. Mother Kerr. Cheng Mingqiang said angrily. Who asked you to report it? Are you asking for it? Are you free? Chao Yuliang, let me tell you. Are you showing off? Chao Yuliang was a little confused. How could he deal with Xiao Chen wrongly? This shouldn't be the case. Didn't Cheng Mingqiang always deal with Xiao Chen with him? It's a good thing to create trouble and obstacles for Xiao Chen now. Why does Cheng Mingqiang sound very angry? Chapter 607. Mother Kerr. You really can't do anything right. Cheng Mingqiang was so angry that he hung up the phone. What's wrong? Just then, Cheng Zhongfan walked into the bedroom from the outside and heard Cheng Mingqiang scolding people. He was slightly surprised and asked, Chao Yuliang, this bastard. His sister saw Xiao Chen on the street and told him. He actually made a decision on his own and reported the Songning branch of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to catch Xiao Chen. Cheng Mingqiang snarled angrily. Isn't this putting our Cheng family in trouble? What will Xiao Chen think? He must think that we reported it. None of your subordinates are useful. Cheng Zhongfan slapped his forehead and was a little depressed. That kid doesn't play according to the rules. If he wants to burn our house, it's just a matter of a moment. It's really unwise to provoke him now. I think so too. This Chao Yuliang is too annoying. He made a decision on his own. Cheng Mingqiang was also very annoyed. Why don't we look for Xiao Chen to explain? What else is there to explain? He won't believe it even if we explain it. Besides, even if we say that Chao Yuliang did it, Chao Yuliang is your man. Can he believe that this has nothing to do with you? Cheng Zhongfan asked. Indeed, it's really killing us. Cheng Mingqiang said with hatred. I hope Xiao Chen doesn't think so much. On Xiao Chen's side, there were indeed some doubts. He was very puzzled. Logically, Cheng Zhongfan wasn't stupid, right? The strength of these people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was not his opponent at all. Why did Cheng Zhongfan ask them to come? Was it a joke? He frowned and thought of Chao Yuling, who he saw before. Could it be that she was behind it? This wasn't impossible. It was normal for Chao Yuliang's sister to tell Chao Yuliang later, thinking that she was Qi Zhigao's girlfriend, and Qi Zhigao had recognized him as his boss before. Xiao Chen couldn't ask them for an explanation. Anyway, there was nothing to do, so he just let it go. However, one thing was certain. His identity as Xiao Chen had been completely exposed. He could no longer use this identity in the future. Brother, what's going on? How did they find you? After escaping danger, Xiao Xiao asked curiously. I don't know either, but I'm guessing Chao Yuling tipped them off. Xiao Chen said, forget it. Ignore them. I'll send you back to the Xiao family. I guess I won't be able to go back to the Xiao family for a while. Starting tomorrow, there will be people waiting at the door of the Xiao family. She's really annoying. She doesn't look like a good person. She looks gentle and quiet on the surface, but I think she's a green tea bitch on the inside, Xiao Xiao said disdainfully. Well, no matter what, she's Qi Zhigao's girlfriend. Xiao Chen waved his hand. He didn't like to talk about friends behind their backs. What a bad taste. Fortunately, I didn't promise him, or else I would be finished. Xiao Xiao patted her chest and said, It's really annoying. I thought that brother would accompany me often during this period. And I'll find a way to secretly accompany you. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. That's more like it. This is what you said. Don't lie, or I'll tell Grandpa, Xiao Xiao said. Xiao Chen was happy. It was like this when he was young. If he lied to Xiao Xiao, she would complain to Grandpa. Although he knew that Xiao Xiao was joking now, Xiao Chen was still emotional. After sending Xiao Xiao back to the Xiao family, and watching her enter the door, Xiao Chen left. Sure enough, as soon as Xiao Chen returned, he received a report from Xia Shibin. Brother Yang, just now the Warrior Guild's Songning branch reported to me that they found traces of you. Xiao Chen, how do you think we should deal with it? Tell them not to act rashly. They are not our opponents. Xiao Chen said. We will take over here. And that's what I said. Xia Shibin nodded. Song Huawu, who was at the side, felt that it was a little strange. Previously, in Lego Town, the martial cavalry who fired the gun exploded, and now, this person from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau also exploded. Xiao Chen's move was really a little special, but why didn't Yang Tan's gun explode back then? What's our next plan? Xiao Chen looked at Song Huawu and Xia Shibin and asked. There's no plan. Song Huawu said. It's almost Chinese New Year. Basically, if the mission is not too special or important, it will be arranged to be carried out after Chinese New Year. However, the night after tomorrow, there will be an internal fellowship party of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Oh, then should I go? Xiao Chen was stunned. He actually didn't want to attend such an occasion. There were too many people who knew Yang Jiannan, but he didn't know any of them. He was afraid that he would be exposed. Of course, you have to go according to the usual practice. Song Huawu nodded. What if I don't know anyone when I go? What if I get exposed? Xiao Chen was a little worried. He was Xiao Chen. How could he know those people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Song Huawu smiled and said, It's fine. In the past, when Yang Jiannan went to the cocktail party, he was also very cold and arrogant. He sat by himself and didn't talk to anyone. Oh, Xiao Chen asked curiously. Then no one took the initiative to talk to him? No one dared to talk to him with low levels of strength. As for those with high levels of strength, if he didn't take the initiative to talk to them, they wouldn't have the time to talk to him. Song Huawu explained. Every time he went, other than flattering Xia Zhili, he would harass me. If I ignored him, he would go to the side with Xia Shibin to drink. That's not bad. Xiao Chen was overjoyed when he heard this. This way, it wouldn't be difficult for him to disguise himself. It was very late, so Xia Shibin took his leave and went back to sleep. Song Huawu also went to wash up and prepare to sleep. Xiao Chen also prepared to rest. But what made him puzzled was that Song Huawu actually pushed the two small beds in the room into one room, and then turned them into a big bed. Looking at the scene in front of him, Xiao Chen couldn't help but be stunned. He shouted at Song Huawu, who was brushing her teeth in the bathroom. Huawu, you made the bed together. How are we going to sleep at night? Lulu. Song Huawu rinsed her mouth and spat out a mouthful of water. She said, When we were in Lego Town, didn't we always sleep together? Why did you go out for a walk and get tired of the old? Xiao Chen was a little stunned. Listening to Song Huawu's somewhat calm tone, he was a little unable to understand Song Huawu's real thoughts. However, thinking that nothing had happened in the past few nights, Xiao Chen simply went directly to the bed, sat cross-legged, and prepared to cultivate. He had just broken through, and he still had to ask the Elder Heaven Ancestor what special ability he had. Elder Heaven Ancestor. Xiao Chen just said 2 words. I sent it to you. The Elder Heaven Ancestor replied to him. Xiao Chen found that he and the Elder Heaven Ancestor really had a tacit understanding. He began to search in his mind. Sure enough, the ability of the 10th level of the Qi refinement stage, had the ability to subdue the heavenly flame. Although the Samadhi true flame was strong, it was still a little lacking. The Samadhi true flame could be used to refine pills, ghost talismans and devils, but it couldn't be used to refine weapons. The 10th level of the Qi refinement stage was the beginning of refining magic weapons. Xiao Chun had to prepare for the flying sword after he reached the foundation establishment stage, so he had to obtain a kind of heavenly flame. After that, there were some methods to refine magic weapons. The most important was to refine flying swords, but without the heavenly flame, Xiao Chun couldn't refine flying swords. Although he could use the finished flying swords, the key problem was, where could he find the finished flying swords? Here, the existence of the cultivators was very small, not to mention the magic weapons. Of course, magic weapons weren't limited to flying swords. There were some other things, such as alchemy furnace, which also belonged to the magic weapon category, but it required a very high level of forging skills to make. And refining a high-level magic weapon also depended on the level of the heavenly flame. In the information given to him by the Elder Heaven Ancestor, the heavenly flame was divided into 4 levels: Heaven level, Earth level, Black level, and Yellow level. Among them, the Yellow level was the weakest, but it was also the starting point. The subduing of the heavenly flame also had to follow the order of the Yellow Xian Heaven and Earth. Once it was disobeyed, not only could it not be subdued, it might even backfire. Therefore, Xiao Chun's current priority was to obtain a yellow-level heavenly flame. The heavenly flame was a kind of flame formed between heaven and earth. It was much more violent than the one that the cultivators condensed, and it was especially suitable for refining magic weapons. After reading the information, Xiao Chun was a little depressed. Elder Heaven Ancestor, where can I find the heavenly flame? This depends on you, I don't know, the Elder Heaven Ancestor said. But if you really don't have it, you can make some flying knives and carry them with you. They can barely be used as offensive magic weapons, but you can't use the flying sword. Xiao Chun was a little speechless after listening. What use could a small knife have? Unless it could be used when a warrior or a martial arts master was unprepared, it couldn't cause too much damage. As for dealing with ordinary people, there was no need to use flying knives at all. It was simply useless. That's right. Xiao Chun suddenly thought of something. Previously, in the Warrior Guild's file, he had seen the analysis of his father's disappearance. Although he didn't know why the trial team was going to the Hakanamada Desert, his father must have heard that there was a heavenly flame in the ruins of the Blazing Mountain. The water from it could be used to refine one's body, which was why he accepted this trial mission. So there was a heavenly flame there? Thinking of this, Xiao Chun could not help but frown. Right now he was unable to determine if there really was a heavenly flame there. From the strange matter of his father's disappearance, it was possible that this was a rumor fabricated by someone with ulterior motives to trick his father. Otherwise, his father wouldn't have accepted this trial mission so enthusiastically. But no matter what, regardless of whether the news about the heavenly flame was true or not, Xiao Chun had the idea of going to the Hakanamada Desert. He wouldn't be satisfied if he didn't personally investigate the place where his father disappeared. Even though he knew that after so many years, there might not be any clues left, he still wanted to go. Now that there was news about the heavenly flame, he had no choice but to go. However, his identity was different now. What reason could he use to go? This was a problem. Chapter 608. Although Xiao Chun was currently on vacation, Xia Zhili would definitely question him if he went to the Hakanamada Desert for no reason. It would not be easy to explain then. However, Xiao Chun did not want to wait any longer. He wanted to find the truth behind his father's disappearance and the heavenly flame as soon as possible. Xiao Chun took a deep breath and shook off his impulsive mind. Sometimes haste makes waste. He had to find a suitable reason to do this. What are you doing? You're sighing and shaking your head. Do you still want to sleep? Song Huawu lifted the blanket and rubbed her body against the headboard. She looked at Xiao Chun and said, What are you doing? Are you drooling over me and unable to sleep? Don't joke around. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, I want to go to the Hakanamada Desert. Song Huawu was slightly stunned. Why do you want to go there? The last trial mission that my father did was to go to the ruins of the Blazing Mountain in the Hakanamada Desert. He also went missing there, so I want to go and take a look, Xiao Chen said. Song Huawu thought for a moment and asked, You found out about this in the warrior guild? Yes. I don't want to wait any longer. I want to go and take a look. It would have been fine if Xiao Chen did not know about it in the past. However, now that he knew, he had to go and take a look. But I don't have any reason. Xiajili might be suspicious. Sai, that's it? You're so stupid. Song Huawu yawned. Didn't Xiao Chen appear? You told Xiajili that Xiao Chen knew that his father went missing in the Hakuna Mata Desert. So he went to the Hakuna Mata Desert. In order to chase after him, you also went there. Isn't that the reason? Huawu, you're too smart. Xiao Chen slapped the bed, surprised and happy. That's right. You're my Xiao little Huawu. No matter how smart you are, it's never too much. Song Huawu snorted. She suddenly thought of Hongzhu. Are you going to hug me? I'm not planning to. Xiao Chen smiled and said, Huawu, I feel that even though we are good friends, it's not appropriate for us to keep making such jokes. What if I take it seriously? Then you'll be responsible. Song Huawu said disapprovingly. Is there anything else? If you don't do anything to me, I'm going to sleep. Yawn. I'm so sleepy. As Song Huawu spoke, she snuggled into the bed, covered herself with the blanket, and closed her eyes. Xiao Chen, on the other hand, started cultivating. It was a quiet night. The next morning, Xiao Chen couldn't wait to call Xiajili. Jianan? What's wrong? Is it because of the appearance of Xiao Chen? Xiajili asked. Yes, Deputy Director Xia. I heard that Xiao Chen has already found out through special channels that his father went missing in the Blazing Mountain ruins in the Hakanamada Desert. I'm afraid he has already fled to the Hakanamada Desert. So I want to end my vacation and go to the Hakanamada Desert to hunt him down. At this point, Xiao Chen said hatefully, He nearly took my life. I want to tear him into pieces. Oh, is that so? So he's already escaped? Xiajili didn't think there was anything wrong with it. After all, Yang Jianan and Xiao Chen were irreconcilable enemies. It was normal for Yang Jianan to want to kill Xiao Chen. It was reasonable for him to end his vacation, because he met his enemy. Yes, he must have escaped, Xiao Chen said. If I were him, I would also go and find out that my father went missing in the Hakanamada Desert. And, since you are willing to give up your vacation to hunt down Xiao Chen, there is naturally no problem. I can't stop you, Xiajili said. But tomorrow night, you must attend our Supernatural Investigation Bureau's party. You are now the newly appointed deputy team leader of Team B. You have to show your face and go to the Hakanamada Desert after the party. No problem, Xiao Chen responded. He wasn't really going to chase after Xiao Chen. It didn't matter if he went a day earlier or a day later, so he directly agreed. Okay, when the time comes, I will also introduce you to the mysterious director of our Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He doesn't appear often. Now that you have made a great contribution, I will introduce you to him. You are also a general under me, Xiajili said. Thank you so much, Deputy Director Xia. Xiao Chen quickly said with fear and trepidation, but he didn't think so. Xiajili was just using him and the mysterious director to show off. In the end, it was for his own benefit. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Chen looked at Song Huawu next to him, who was glaring at him angrily. What are you doing? Xiao Chen was shocked. I was having a beauty nap, and you woke me up. Song Huawu said angrily. Let me tell you, if I wasn't beautiful, would you marry me? Forget it. If it weren't for me, you would be sitting in a wheelchair now, Xiao Chen said. But I was also seen by you. How much does it cost to find someone to watch a live streamer's video? Besides, you also touched me, Song Huawu said. So we're even. That works too. Xiao Chen was a little speechless, but he didn't argue with her. Then you continue to sleep. I will go and cook. Okay, call me when it's done. Song Huawu closed her eyes again. Xiao Chen made breakfast, but he thought of Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan. I wonder how they are. It was as if he had never left Songning, and what happened in Lan City was just a dream. After breakfast was ready, Song Huawu had already woken up without Xiaochen calling her. She sat at the table in a daze and began to eat. You woke up in time. Xiaochen smiled. I can smell the fragrance, Song Huawu said while eating. After eating, let's pack up and go to Tianfang province. The headquarters of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau is there. Xiaochen nodded and sat down to eat. After breakfast, Xiaochen, Song Huawu, and Xia Shibin rushed to the airport. They had already booked plane tickets to Chidu City, the provincial capital of Tianfang province. Of course, not everyone could attend the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's fellowship party. Only people at the level of Yang Jiannan and Song Huawu could attend, and Xia Shibin went as an attendant. Because the plane tickets were booked at the last minute, when they rushed to the airport, the plane was about to depart. Most of the passengers had already changed their boarding passes and passed the security check, waiting to board. The seats of Xiaochen and the other two were not connected. At this moment, they could not choose to sit next to each other. Xiaochen did not care about this. Anyway, it would only take a few hours. They would arrive at their destination in a daze. After passing the security check quickly, the boarding had already begun. The three of them finally caught the plane, took the boarding pass, and looked for their respective seats. Xiaochen compared the boarding pass and found his seat. However, to his surprise, there was already someone sitting in his seat. This made him a little puzzled. He looked at the boarding pass, and then looked at the seat number. There was no mistake. Miss, may I ask if you're a 36A? Xiaochen smiled and asked the girl sitting in his seat. After the girl heard Xiaochen's words, she was suddenly stunned. Her face was a little red, and she said weakly, I am obviously 36B. Lan Xinxin was a little annoyed after saying this sentence. Whether I am 36A or 36B, what does it have to do with this person? Is there something wrong with this person? Why is he asking about other people's chest size? She was also honest, so she said it. In fact, Lan Xinxin's chest was a little small. She was usually most depressed when others talked about her flat chest, so she subconsciously retorted. But after saying it, she regretted it a little. Why did I tell my privacy to a stranger? Thinking of this, Lan Xinxin ignored Xiaochen. She turned her head and looked out of the window of the plane. Xiaochen was a little puzzled. What's wrong with this chick? She already admitted that she is 36B, but she still sits in the 36A seat. Really? If you want to lean against the window, just say it. It's not like I don't want to change seats with you. Why are you ignoring me? However, Xiaochen didn't say much. He sat in the 36B seat. Since the 36A was occupied by her, then Xiaochen could only do so. However, Lan Xinxin was shocked. She didn't expect that the man who asked about her chest size would suddenly sit next to her. This made her a little nervous. Is this person a pervert? Otherwise, after asking about my chest size, why is he sitting next to me? However, Lan Xinxin didn't ask. She was afraid that if she spoke, this person would endlessly pester her. However, when she thought of the long journey and this perverted pervert sitting next to her, she felt uncomfortable all over. Thinking of this, Lan Xinxin finally gathered her courage and said to Xiaochen, Hey, the seat you are sitting in is mine. Please go back to your seat. Xiaochen was originally closing his eyes to rest. When he heard Lan Xinxin's words, he was a little puzzled. I'm going back to my seat? Then I'm going to sit on you? You. When Lan Xinxin heard Xiaochen's words, she thought, this person is really a pervert. His words are taking advantage of me. You don't have a seat for yourself? Yes, it was occupied by you. Xiaochen looked at Lan Xinxin with an inexplicable and innocent face. My seat is 36A. I just asked you. You said you were 36B. But I saw that you didn't intend to give up your seat, so I could only sit on your 36B. Where else can I sit? You are talking about the seat on the plane? Lan Xinxin was stunned. She looked up at the seat number above her head and suddenly understood. Their row was row 36. and the seat by the window was 36A. It turned out that this person was asking for her seat number, but she thought that he was asking about her chest size. Thinking of this, Lan Xinxin suddenly felt a little embarrassed. She saw that the seat by the window was empty, so she sat on it. Xiao Chun and the others were the last to board the plane. It was no wonder that Lan Xinxin thought that there was no one in this seat. Chapter 609. Now that she thought about it, he didn't mean anything else at all. Lan Xinxin suddenly felt a little ashamed. I'm sorry. I'll switch with you. That's not necessary. If you like 36A, then 36A is fine. Xiao Chun smiled and shook his head. This girl is really strange. She looks pretty, but why does she feel a little unconventional and stupid? No, I don't like 36A. Lan Xinxin said subconsciously, but after saying it, she realized that she said it wrong. But she still wanted to switch, because she now remembered that the seat she was sitting in was 36A. She remembered that she was flat-chested, so she wanted to change. I'm still 36B. Oh, then it's up to you. Xiao Chun stood up, but the guest in seat 36C next to him had already put down his luggage and sat down. After this person sat down, he closed his eyes and started snoring. Xiao Chun didn't know if he was really asleep or pretending. Although Xiao Chun wasn't afraid of him, he didn't want to cause trouble on the plane. So he said, I will lift the seat first, and then you come over from in front of me. I will then move over. Lan Xinxin nodded to show her agreement. However, when she stood up and moved to Xiao Chun's side, she suddenly remembered that her buttocks were facing Xiao Chun. Moreover, because she wanted to rub against him, she twisted her buttocks. This made her face a little hot. She also felt some self-pity. Lan Xinxin, you are so stupid. How can you do this? Isn't this equivalent to showing off to others? However, it was already like this. She could only speed up and want to move over quickly. Who would have thought that she would be anxious and directly knock the small table in front of the seat? She was shocked. She subconsciously dodged back and directly sat on Xiao Chun's body. Lan Xinxin was a cute beauty. Although she looked a little stupid, this kind of girl could make people more excited sometimes. So, Xiao Chun was the same at this moment. Lan Xinxin also felt that something was wrong for a moment. She subconsciously stood up again, but she used too much force and hit the small table in front of her that was completely open. She bounced back and sat on Xiao Chun's body again. However, this time, Xiao Chun didn't feel it at all, because he was directly broken by Lan Xinxin. He could even hear the crisp kacha sound. Ha! Xiao Chun screamed. He was sweating from the pain. Lan Xinxin also noticed that something was wrong. Although she was stupid, she also knew what happened. She stood up in a hurry, but she saw that Xiao Chun's face had turned green. Are you alright? I'll send you to the hospital. His face turned pale with fright. Xiao Chun grimaced in pain. In fact, this matter couldn't be blamed on Lan Xinxin, who asked Xiao Chun to be tempted. But this Lan Xinxin was accurate enough. It really made him very depressed. Xiao Chun waved his hand and slowly moved his body away. He sat inside 36A by the window. Looking at Xiao Chun's painful look, Lan Xinxin was scared. She also heard the crisp sound just now. She also saw similar news reports. Combined with Xiao Chun's current appearance, he would definitely be broken. Fortunately, he was a cultivator and could repair himself. Otherwise, he would really be crippled. It would be difficult to recover, even if he went to the hospital. Xiao Chun thought that this chick was too much of a scam. If he really broke, it would be over. Sir, are you really okay? Lan Xinxin looked at Xiao Chun nervously and said, If there is a problem, let's go to the hospital quickly. I have an acquaintance in the hospital. I have a sister there. If you are afraid of losing face, we can go secretly. No need. Xiao Chun was a little speechless. Go secretly? Obviously, you are the one who caused me to break. What is there for me to lose face? You really don't need it? Lan Xinxin asked with uncertainty. Really? Even if there is something, I won't look for you. Okay. Xiao Chun didn't want to talk too much about this topic. There were so many people on the plane. Those who didn't know would think that something was wrong with him. Then that's okay. Lan Xinxin saw that Xiao Chen's attitude was firm, so she could only give up. However, she was a little uneasy in her heart. She still secretly observed Xiao Chen, and found that Xiao Chen was picking up a magazine issued on the plane at the moment. It seemed that there was no adverse reaction, so she was slightly relieved. After a while, the plane was ready to take off. It entered the runway and taxied. Lan Xinxin looked at Xiao Chen again, and saw that he was still fine. She heaved a sigh of relief, and picked up the newspaper to read. After the plane flew smoothly, the stewardess began to distribute drinks and snacks. The man on the other side of Lan Xinxin seemed to wake up, and ordered a cup of coffee. Lan Xinxin asked for a glass of milk, and Xiao Chen asked for a glass of water. He was a little thirsty. After drinking, he planned to go to the bathroom. He wanted to go before, but seeing that the man was sleeping, he didn't want to disturb him. "I'm going to the bathroom," Xiao Chen said to Lan Xinxin. "Ah!" Lan Xinxin was stunned. Are you going to check if it's broken?" Xiao Chen suddenly had a black line. What kind of logic is this? Looking at Xiao Chen's black face and not answering, Lan Xinxin thought that she had guessed it right. It must be like this, so she suddenly felt a little nervous. If Xiao Chen went to the bathroom, it must mean that he is uncomfortable. There is a problem. Otherwise, why would he go to the bathroom? Thinking of this, Lan Xinxin was very apologetic. "Why don't I accompany you to take a look? If there is any problem, I can help you. I'm going to pee. Can you help me too?" Xiao Chen didn't know what to say. Is this a silly girl? "Ah, then I can help you check to see if it can pee," Lan Xinxin said. "No, I can check it myself," Xiao Chen said. "You should get out of the way. I will pee in my pants." "Oh, then you come back. Be sure to tell me the result," said Lan Xinxin. Xiao Chen left speechlessly. He passed by Xia Xibin's seat. He wanted to change seats with him, but he didn't expect this guy to fall asleep. Song Huawu was in the front business class, so Xiao Chen was too lazy to look for her. After going to the bathroom, Xiao Chen did a quick check. He heaved a sigh of relief when he realized that he had perfectly repaired Lu Shuangshuang. In fact, if he could repair Lu Shuangshuang, he could not do much either. However, he felt a little more confident after looking at her. Walking back to his seat, Xiao Chen saw the man next to him talking to Lan Xinxin. They seemed to be talking about something. When he saw Xiao Chen coming back, he just stood up, opened the luggage rack, and took out his box from it. Xiao Chen also returned to his seat. "Miss, look. These are the jade that I want to take to the auction. If you like it, I can sell it to you at the starting price." "Who asked us to take the same plane? This is also fate," the man said as he opened his box. Xiao Chen glanced at it. There were a lot of jade carvings in it. They were all kinds of beautiful, but Xiao Chen couldn't feel any aura. However, when Xiao Chen took a closer look, he couldn't say that those were all fake. There were indeed fakes in it, but there were also real ones. It could be said that it was a mix of real and fake. Lan Xinxin's eyes were already bright. She said eagerly, "Then Brother Chen, do you have a jade pendant made of the best warm jade?" The so-called warm jade, also known as warm jade, was actually a type of nephrite. Because nephrite's color and texture were as smooth as fat, it gave people a warm feeling. As for the top-grade warm jade, it was warm to the touch. It was the top-grade warm jade, and this type of nephrite was very rare. However, Xiao Chen knew that some spiritual jades had this kind of feeling. However, not all spiritual jades had this kind of feeling, because there were also spiritual jades in the cold jade. Yes, of course there are. The man called Brother Chen carefully took out a small box from the bottom of the box. He opened it carefully and took out a jade pendant. This was a carving in the shape of a big coin. It was very exquisite and beautiful. Is this really a top-grade warm jade? Lan Xinxin was stunned. "My mother is sick. Her body is cold all year round. A Taoist priest once said that wearing a top-grade warm jade can alleviate the illness. That's really a coincidence. This is also a top-grade warm jade. I originally wanted to sell it at the auction, but since we are fated, I don't mind selling it to you," Brother Chen said. "Really?" Lan Xinxin couldn't believe that her luck was so good. Her hands trembled as she took the jade pendant from Brother Chen. Once it touched her hand, she couldn't help but exclaim, "Ah, it really is a warm jade. It feels warm to the touch, so magical." Right, you are also very lucky. If you didn't meet me, this top-grade warm jade is really hard to come by. Ordinary warm jade, isn't this magical? Brother Chen nodded and said. Xiao Chun was stunned. He didn't know whether the other top-grade warm jades had spiritual energy. In any case, this one didn't. However, looking at the condition of this jade, it should be a real one. Xiao Chun couldn't determine whether it was real or fake, so he didn't interrupt. Lan Xinxin held the jade pendant in her hand. It was obvious that she couldn't let go of it. After looking at it for a long time, she confirmed that it was what she needed. She couldn't help but be surprised and happy. Brother Chen, how much is this top-grade warm jade? 10 million. Brother Chen said. Of course, I can't sell this jade to you at the starting price because it is more precious. I estimate that if it is put up for auction, it can be sold for at least 20 million. Of course, the auction will take a 40% commission, so the remaining price will be 12 million. I will give you a discount to round it up to 10 million. 10 million? Xiao Chun was a little surprised. Is this silly girl very rich? I didn't see it, but the person next to me actually saw it. Otherwise, whether the jade in his hand was real or fake, he wouldn't pick a poor person to fool. 10 million. Lan Xinxin frowned. It's a little expensive. Chapter 610. But good things are expensive. Think about it. 10 million yuan, or your mother's illness, which is more important? Brother Chen said. I see that you are a little girl, so I sold it to you for 10 million yuan. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said such nonsense. Brother Chen is right. I'll buy it. After Lan Xinxin heard it, she immediately nodded. But I can't give you the money on the plane now. Just transfer it to your mobile phone. Brother Chen smiled. When the plane lands, and you can turn on your mobile phone, transfer it to me. And then okay. Lan Xinxin nodded after listening. Then, I'll return it to you first. No need. You can look at it yourself first. You can also carefully evaluate whether this jade pendant is worth the money. Brother Chen smiled. You are sitting on the plane. Do you think I'm afraid that you will run away? Hee, that's true. Lan Xinxin smiled and continued to play with the jade pendant in her hand, but her face was full of excitement. You can look at it first and think about it calmly. If you think it's good, you can transfer it to me when the plane lands. If it's not good, you can return it to me. Brother Chen smiled generously. It doesn't matter. This thing can't be broken anyway. And then I'll think about it. Lan Xinxin felt that what Brother Chen said was reasonable, and it seemed to be very sincere. However, the price of 10 million yuan was really expensive. Even for her, it was difficult to take it out. Although her family had some money, because her mother wasn't the legal wife, she usually didn't have much pocket money. She was also very thrifty. Otherwise, she wouldn't be sitting in economy class on the plane. Hee, it's okay. You take a look first. Brother Chen smiled. After that, he didn't say much and waited for Lan Xinxin to evaluate it herself. On Lan Xinxin's side, she turned her head and asked Xiao Chen. Oh yeah, you. How are you? Is it good there? It's not good. If I don't suffocate, can I still come back? Xiao Chen was a little speechless. This Lan Xinxin, it took a long time to react and ask me. The most important thing is that she actually remembered this matter. No, I mean other aspects. Is it good? Asked Lan Xinxin. Other aspects. Xiao Chen rolled his eyes and didn't know what to say. As for the rest, how would you know if it's good or not if you don't try it? Do you want to try it with me? Xiao Chen was really annoyed by her and said impatiently. With me. Lan Xinxin was a little hesitant. She was indeed very worried about Xiao Chen's situation. But it didn't seem right to try it with her. She was still a virgin. How could she try it so casually? Besides, what if she got pregnant? Just like her mother, she had a very low status in the family. Therefore, she thought for a moment and said weakly, why don't I spend some money to find a prostitute for you to try it out? Do you think I can agree? Xiao Chen asked. Yeah. Lan Xinxin nodded. That really can't be easily agreed. If we find someone who is sick and gets a more serious infectious disease, it will be even worse. Xiaochen didn't want to talk to this silly girl anymore. Then how about, I use my hands to help you try it? Lan Xinxin struggled for a long time before she gathered her courage and said, Do I need you to use my hands? I don't have my own hands. Xiaochen said, Okay, you don't have to worry about it. I won't look for you even if I'm crippled, okay? Then I will feel uneasy. You can't really do it, right? Lan Xinxin heard Xiaochen's tone, and it seemed that he was angry, so she asked quickly, Let me see the jade pendant in your hand. Xiaochen had to change the topic. He didn't want to discuss this kind of personal issue with the silly girl. He wasn't familiar with her. Xiaochen felt weird talking about these things. Oh, okay. Lan Xinxin gave the jade pendant to Xiaochen. Do you also understand jade? I know a little bit. Xiaochen took the jade pendant and looked at it in his hand. Indeed, the moment the jade pendant touched his hand, it became incomparably warm. However, Xiaochen felt that it was a little strange. The heat of this thing didn't seem to be anything good. It didn't seem to be the heat emitted from the inside of the jade pendant, but the outer layer was a little hot. Of course, if one wasn't a cultivator, it was difficult for the average person to feel it. Only people with a keen perception like Xiaochen could distinguish it. There was definitely a problem with this jade. Let's not talk about whether the foundation of this jade was real or fake, but this warm jade was definitely fake. Although Xiaochen didn't want to talk to this silly girl, Lan Xinxin, this silly girl was very kind. After all, it was 10 million yuan. Xiaochen didn't want her to be cheated, so he quietly gathered a samadhi true fire in his hand and quickly burned the surface of the jade pendant. This action was completed in an instant. It was very fast, so naturally, no one noticed it. Sure enough, after Xiaochen burned the jade pendant, the previous warm feeling disappeared. Xiaochen sneered in his heart. Sure enough, if his guess was right, I'm afraid that Brother Chen smeared a material on the jade pendant. This material would heat up when it touched the hand to disguise it as warm jade. This layer of material was burned by Xiaochen's samadhi true fire, so this jade pendant also became an ordinary jade pendant. It didn't have the warm effect. This jade isn't warm. There's no special feeling. Xiaochen pretended to be puzzled. Isn't this an ordinary jade pendant? What function does it have? No, it's warm jade. Lan Xinxin said as she took the jade pendant back from Xiaochen's hand, but she was suddenly stunned. The previous warm feeling really disappeared. She suddenly had some doubts. Brother Chen, this jade pendant isn't warm anymore. Brother Chen's heart suddenly dropped. It shouldn't be. The layer on the jade pendant, even if you touch it with your hand, won't fall off in a short time. At least it can last for a month or two. Why is it gone? He subconsciously took Lan Xinxin's jade pendant, and his face suddenly changed. Sure enough, this jade pendant didn't have a warm feeling, but it became extremely cold. It wasn't warm jade anymore. Although Brother Chen didn't know what the problem was, he was very unwilling to see this business go down the drain. It wasn't easy for him to meet a rich customer like Lan Xinxin, and she was in urgent need of warm jade. If he couldn't cheat her money, he would really regret it. The reason why he knew that Lan Xinxin was rich was because of his observation of people's words and expressions. Lan Xinxin had the temperament of a lady from a wealthy family. Although she looked silly, this temperament couldn't be changed. Also, Lan Xinxin's watch couldn't be bought without a few million. This watch was a gift from Lan Xinxin's father for her 18th birthday. It was also the only valuable thing on Lan Xinxin. However, it was seen by Brother Chen, who had sharp eyes. How could a person who could wear such an expensive watch be poor? Although Lan Xinxin's clothes were very ordinary, therefore he wasn't reconciled. He saw that 10 million was in the bag, but it was gone in the blink of an eye. He gritted his teeth and prepared to cause trouble. Are you guys in the same group? Did you guys collude to break my jade pendant? Lan Xinxin was shocked. She didn't expect Brother Chen, who was very kind a moment ago, to become fierce in the blink of an eye. How can this jade pendant be broken? It's not broken. Why did it fail? It was warm just now. You tested it yourself, But after you guys touched it, it became like this. It was either broken by you guys, or it was replaced. Brother Chen snorted and said, "You know what you have done? Do you think I'm easy to bully? Let me tell you. I have people in Tianfang province. If you don't pay, don't think about leaving the airport. If you lose an arm or a leg, don't blame me for being merciless." He was also anxious. The money was going to fly away. He simply shed all pretense of cordiality. Since he couldn't cheat anymore, he directly changed to threats and extortion. I. Lan Xinxin was scared by Brother Chen. She was about to cry. "I really didn't do anything." "Is it interesting?" Xiao Chen frowned. He couldn't stand it anymore. He exposed the problem of the jade pendant. If this Brother Chen gave up, Xiao Chen wouldn't have the intention to find trouble with him. After all, he was just a small liar. Xiao Chen couldn't be bothered with this kind of person. But now this person was even threatening and intimidating. Xiao Chen was a little sick of it. "You know what is going on in your heart. Don't make a fuss. Calm down. If you continue to be a busybody, I won't let you get off the plane." Shout. Brother Chen didn't expect Xiao Chen to actually speak. "What? Are you trying to be a hero saving the beauty? But is there any use in saving the beauty? That thing is broken, right? Don't think that I didn't hear it just now. You're just a little eunuch. Go to the side and don't be a busybody. The jade just now became like this in my hands. If there's anything, look for me." Xiao Chen directly said to Lan Xinxin, "You better go to 36A. I'll sit here with you." "Kid, are you trying to be unreasonable with me?" Brother Chen wasn't afraid of Xiao Chen at all. He whistled. Suddenly, the two macho men in the front and back stood up from their seats and stared at Xiao Chen coldly. "You're trying to cause trouble on the plane, right?" Xiao Chen glanced at Brother Chen and slapped him. He directly sent him flying into the plane's aisle. The two macho men didn't expect Xiao Chen to dare to make the first move in this situation. They were suddenly stunned. If it was during normal times, when their fraud was exposed, as long as the two of them stood there, wouldn't the other people obediently compromise and beg for mercy? But who would have thought that Xiao Chen didn't play by the rules? He was quite strong, and with one slap, he made the other person tumble. "Kid, are you looking for death?" The two macho men directly jumped over and wanted to make a move on Xiao Chen. "Idiot!" Xiao Chen grabbed the hair of the two men with one hand and slammed them hard. The two macho men were directly hit until they saw stars and fainted on the aisle. Lan Xinxin was dumbfounded. She didn't expect Xiao Chen to be so fierce. He just casually hit the three macho men until they lost their ability to move. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.